And that's the way you do it. So did you bring any refreshments?
Yes, I did, along with my coffee.
Okay. We're going to do a prayer before we review the wisdoms. And I'm going to give you a choice, a lady's choice. You can either offer a prayer or I'll read a prayer.
You can read a prayer.
Okay. It always seems to go back to that. I don't really care. All right.
Double.
So this is an interesting prayer. And it's from this book.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And you might have seen this poster before.
No.
This is the I am presence. The I am presence is that which is above the human, and the Christ itself is the I am presence or divine presence that's around you at all time, handling everything. So if you think we're here alone, forget it. All right, it's called I Am Light. It's by a master by the name of Kuthumi. What I like about this prayer is that you can see its direct correlation with Shivambu. So here goes. I'm just going to read it. This is not call or response like we did yesterday. I am light, glowing light, radiating light, intensified light. God consumes my darkness, transmuting it into light. This day, I am a focus of the central sun. Flowing through me is a crystal river, a living fountain of light that can never be qualified by human thought and feeling. I am an outpost of the divine. Such darkness as used me is swallowed up by the mighty river of light, which I am. I am light. I live in light. I am light's fullest dimension. I am light's purest intention. I am light, 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 flooding the world everywhere I move, blessing, strengthening, and conveying the purpose of the kingdom of heaven. So these decrees are known as the head, heart, and hand decrees. I'm not going to do a promotion here. But when you do decrees, what it does is it lifts your human consciousness to the divine consciousness. This is why people chant. So you're not lost in your mind, fooling you, scaring you, doing all that stuff. Okay, let's go over the 6 or 7 Shivambu wisdoms. Can you name any of them?
Oh, is that what we did yesterday?
Yeah, we did that and much more.
No.
Okay, number 1. We've already talked about this, Donna, earlier. Shivambu is an intuitive medicine.
Yes.
Okay, did I write something about that? It's intuitive medicine without following any tradition, dogma, or superstition. One of the things that Harry Matadine, I don't know if you heard of him, he's out in the UK. We've talked for the last 5 years together in helping people understand that Shivambu is an intuitive medicine and there's no dogma associated or rules or obligations that comes with your ability to use your own water. As such, the intuition plays a big part because you're not looking for some rule book going, oh yeah, I got to do it this way or I got to do it this way. No, it's totally intuitive. Okay, number 2, Shivambu works regardless of what you think about it. It doesn't matter what gender, age, race, or species. It works because it's a universal water. You hear the stories all the time about people drinking from other animals or giving their water to their dog and cat and bird and ferret and their health turns around. Was it you who said you put it on your spine?
No.
Somebody the other day said they had backache, back pain.
Oh, my lower back, I did.
That
yes.
was your...
Yeah. Yes,
yeah.
sorry.
So you have a direct experience of it that'll help you for arthritic challenges.
Yeah. Yes.
And get in the habit, if you're not already doing this, get in the habit of doing visualization. seeing your body already whole and perfect and strong. Okay, number 3, Shivambu alchemizes anything it touches. Another name for alchemizes is transforms, sterilizes, neutralizes, or raises the frequency of it. And so one good example of this is people say, well, I won't take a bath in water because that's city water, and city water has all these chemicals. Is the same with Australia?
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, there's a simple remedy: pee in your bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So more and more people are admitting they've been doing that all along.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fun position I have, being in the worldwide family, being one of the guys out in the public a lot, is I can hear all these little inside ideas and secrets and that nobody talks about, like, oh yeah, I keep a cup in my car, and when I have to, and boom, I got it. I'm collecting it. So to me, these are natural ways that you're working with your water, and these ideas help everyone else.
Yes.
All right, alchemize everything. It's an evolutionary water, which means it evolves. What do you think of when you hear that word?
Evolve.
Evolves, evolving.
I think more nutrition, more benefits, more stem cells. Yeah.
More nutrition, more
Yeah.
stem cells, more potency. Where, go ahead.
So for the first morning, excuse me, first morning output, that has all the memory, is that correct? And all the information of what you need at that time. And then the evolved grows more stem cells and more nutrition. Is that correct?
Yes, but you got 2 topics going on here. All right, so the morning is are you talking about what you collected in the morning, or what you collected during the time?
First output.
The first output, yeah, it has the information from last night.
Yes.
Or what you ate, or what you stressed out about.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Evolution, or the evolving aspect of it, begins the moment you leave it alone. You set it in your jar, leave it alone, come back to it in 1 to 3 to 5 to 7, 10 to 14 days, whatever. It's evolving, meaning it's growing or maturing, kind of like a kombucha mushroom.
Mm.
Okay. Saturation dosing. You remember what that is?
Yes, all the different applications.
Applications, but what makes the term saturation dosing different than just doing an application?
Because you're doing a lot of them.
A lot of it. Why?
Eyes, snorting, ears, drinking, massage, soaking, enemas.
Yes.
Something.
So why are you saturating? Why are you increasing? Why do we do this?
For more health benefits. More.
Yes. To prevent or to cure any compromise or challenge to our body.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason I built it into my lifestyle is because we do not live in a pure world.
No.
There's contaminants that are floating outside in the air. There's things that come out of chemtrails. There are electromagnetic frequencies. There's 5G. There's negative thoughts from other people. There's houses that are smart houses. And to be in and out of these fields, it's nice to be clean.
Yes.
And we chose to be on this planet. Go figure.
At this time.
Yeah. Well, I'm enjoying. What about you?
Yes, I have my different thought patterns, but yes, I think we're blessed to be at this time. Yeah.
You know things now you didn't know 3 years ago.
Oh my goodness me.
Right. You know more who you are than you knew 3 years ago.
Yes. And the courage and everything is just, I didn't think I had, is, yes, amazing. It's amazing.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Two more things. There is no curable. The word incurable, if you take the word apart, incurable means to cure from within.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It depends on who frames these words and in what context you're hearing these words. If it comes from a medically trained person, they'll tell you there are incurables. There are germs.
Yes. Yeah.
And so one of our jobs has to use critical thinking so we can see what's really true.
Yes.
The only thing you cannot heal, is there anything you can't heal?
I don't believe so.
No. No, the only thing you cannot heal is what you believe you cannot heal.
Yes. Excuse me.
You go?
Stop. Stop. No. Oh, she's a puppy. She's biting.
You've got to do the discipline.
Oh,
I understand. And last but not least, Shivambu is in a category all unto itself. So we're doing our best. It's kind of like love. You're trying to explain love to people who only get little snippets of what love is. They've never had unconditional love, and you're trying to, convey that to them. You do the best you can, and keep loving them up. All right. Any questions?
no.
All right. Did you practice any new protocols since yesterday from the class? Did you try anything new?
No, because I do most of them except for the enema. Because I haven't got them for that. Yeah. So
Okay.
no.
All right. You didn't discover. Okay. First class.
There's one other one that I don't do. I can't remember what that was now.
Injections. No.
Oh yes, yeah, that's the one. I do want to try that though. One day.
You know how to inject yourself?
Well, I have done with IVF. IVF, not drugs. Yeah, so well that is.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought otherwise about you.
Yeah.
All right, since Daniel called, I'm not going to reach out to him. Wisdoms, masters, wisdoms. We already did that. Chapter 7, we did that subject on faith. Here's a good question. If someone you're introducing, I know I'm skipping around here, someone you want to introduce to urine therapy, and you really love them, and you know they're suffering, they're having a tough time, they're giving up on the medical profession. And they reply to you that urine is a waste product. Why would it be otherwise? The first thing you want to say to them is, where did you get that idea from?
Okay.
Because you come to realize most people don't think original thoughts. And so it was passed on to them from whoever their source was, doctors, school, religion, whatever. And so you want them to start to open up to maybe they lied.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you got it wrong. Maybe there's another way to look at it. Where did you get the idea that it's not sterile or waste product? What if I told you that there is a life-saving blood plasma substance that our body makes that has been used and known of for over 5,000 years? You don't have to mention this. Daniel's in the house. Whoa.
Oh, good morning, Daniel.
I'll read this over. He's got to, okay. Remember we got to this point yesterday, he was trying to connect to the audio.
Yeah.
So Daniel gets the audio part down. I mean, he can actually hear us. It's a Daniel face. Morning, Daniel. He can see us, but his speaker is not clicked on yet. He's in Oregon. We met in Oregon. So let me just read this over again so Daniel can pick up on this if he's listening. If not, he'll get the recording later on today. What if I told you that there's a life-saving blood plasma substance that the body makes that has been used and known for over 5,000 years to prevent and cure all forms of illness? Would you want to know what it is, or do you want me to keep it a secret? Do you think that'll get their interest?
Yes.
Okay. And then the last thing I'd ask them is, can you keep an open mind? Because you want to know that your seed will plant in fertile soil.
Mhm.
If you can get a yes, hi, Daniel.
Hi.
Hi.
Working with my phone.
All right. Well, carry on. We're moving forward. This is Donna, if you want to say hi.
Morning, Daniel.
Right on.
Nice.
Right on. All right. Here. Page 16 through 31. Let's take a look at this. You have your books or your PDFs with you? I already read this part. We're going to go to page 198. And I don't know what it is on the PDF. Oh, you have a book, Donna? Or are you using the PDF?
Which book is it? Because I
Shiva?
have-
The one with Shiva?
Oh no, I've ordered that one. Yeah, I've ordered that.
Okay.
I'm just in the PDF.
Here's why it's an intuitive medicine. If we haven't gone over this enough times, I want this to really sink in with you guys.
Okay.
Once you choose this lifestyle, or it has chosen you, which more people are admitting you were called to this journey, you absolutely know what UT is and what it's doing for you. You will never quit the practice or look for something better. After gaining enough experience practicing urine therapy and are sure that you're ready, students and clients will seek you out. I'm talking about when you decide, or if you decide that you want to teach this or be an educator. By the way, a teacher and a therapist are one and the same.
Yeah.
So people try to say, well, I'm a teacher, I'm not a therapist. Want to bet?
Mm.
You are. How well do you practice using your intuition? According to a Webster dictionary, intuition is an ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. It is the power or faculty of attaining direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference. Do you feel confident with your intuition abilities? Intuition is a tool. It's only as good as the person who uses it. Start today, right where you are, and practice being more mindful of using intuition. Mastering the use of intuition, along with mastering conscious breathing, is not only pivotal to your well-being and your clients, but also to everyone you know and will cross paths during your life. Breathe. I'll be right back. And just a word from our sponsor.
Yeah.
We all know that urine therapy does a body good, so just drink it. End of commercial. All right. Know that your intuition instantly giving, and by the way, you probably caught on by now that I throw in humor in teaching
Yes.
situations because we have to lighten up the subject. Know that your intuition is always at your service to guide and keep the session on course, assist in making good choices, in giving advice, suggesting lifestyle changes, and co-creating the best sessions with every client. Remember, you are an instrument, a bridge or guide for your client to do his own work with your assistance and cooperation. Your work is not to save, in case you're in any relationships or decide to get in another relationships. Your work is not to save, protect, improve, or change anyone, especially your clients. Basic rule of thumb is their work is their work and your work is your work. Let's not cross the line. I'll get along just fine. The sooner a client can throw away their psychological and mental crutches, concerns, doubts, and fears, and take responsibility for their self-care, the faster they'll heal and grow. They always heal themselves. Most clients come to you out of desperation, have given up hope and faith in the medical system, and are looking to you and urine therapy as their last chance to save their life, reclaim their health, and have any quality of life. You may at times, being approached by new clients, feel like a first responder answering to emergency calls, which tend to scare you, and you get used to that. I get these almost every day. They're on the edge, and you got to stay really steady and get them down off that tree, talk some sense into them. So that happens a lot. Okay, hold on a second. I got to mark this spot. was going to mark the spot so I don't lose it. After facilitating more and more sessions, this becomes second nature to you. You got this? You got this. Okay. Now would be a good time to set this book down, take several deep connected breaths, get recentered and calm, go pee if you have to, perhaps start shaking your body, take a shower, dance, do yoga, sing, yell, chant, skip, run, go, walking. These are powerful tools to use either during a session or any time during the day when you feel stuck, anxious, scared, confused, and uncreative, or in what's called no movement. Y'all get that way sometimes? If you're not in movement, move. That's it. All right. Because your head's on lockdown, your head's not giving you what it needs, and your heart may be held back. So you just get the body moving, things start opening up. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind that on this path, we give a lot of thanks to the golden blood plasma water for constantly cleaning, purifying, and washing away impurities in body, mind, while leaving us feeling fresh, clear, calm, balanced, and sane. Any questions? All right, page 60. Page 60. I don't know, what do you see on the PDF? I'm going to go over saturation dosing one more time, just because there's 3 quick pages here. The practice of increasing the oral and topical use of Orin is known as saturation dosing. The saturation point, you might have heard that term. Hi, Daniel, nice water. The saturation point is an arbitrary attempt to reach Orin capacity at its fullest or limit. Saturation dosing is your best prevention and defense of an illness or compromised immune system. It gives you a fighting chance to get ahead of any virus, sickness, contamination, or compromise to your health. Saturation dosing is gaining in popularity as a preventive protocol, especially when started before the onset of an illness. Considering the body is continually regenerating, it's an oxymoron to believe that we could ever reach the point of being full to the max with nutrients from your water. Keep in mind that Orin, with 4,000 identified micronutrient-sized substances and more yet to be discovered, it would be virtually impossible to determine daily minimum requirements and a serving size. That's from the old medical model. How much, how often, and do I have to measure something out?
Intuition.
This is intuition. Drink as much as you can, as often as you can. Basic way to do this approach. Daniel knows about looping. This is why it's clearly understood that Orin therapy is an intuitive medicine, or the purpose of saturation dosing is to flood the bloodstream, body, cells, and so on with the maximum concentration of vital nutrients in a shorter time than it takes with just a glass or a serving per day. What's neat about drinking it or snorting it is like you're mainlining it, like it's going right into the bloodstream. It gets in the mucosa, boom, it's there. This is the faster way, but everything else goes pretty darn quick in the bloodstream. Now, if you decide to swallow a pill, eat some food, there's that time it takes to break it down, bring in the stomach acids, get it through the intestines, blah, 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 and you're already ahead of that. Why stop there? This may be the case of UT devotees who've been drinking and applying Orin for many years with the addition of other health practices like fasting, fruitarianism, raw veganism, enemas, kalanas, qigong, tai chi, meditation, sun gazing, 1 meal a day, intermittent fasting, exercise, daily conscious deep connected breathing, clearing out limited thoughts, limited beliefs, getting lots of hugs and conversations that matter, and massage. Almost done here. Committed health enthusiasts who are continually using UT protocols have gained an experience and a knowing with UT that gives them great certainty in its healing power. Those just starting UT, usually using minimum dosing, are improving at a snail's pace, playing it safe, often not changing anything about their diet and lifestyle, and experiencing incremental health improvement. I have a housemate who's one of my students. He drinks 4 ounces a day and thinks that's a big deal. Oh, I'm up to 4 ounces a day. I said, when you get up to two quarts, let's talk. I do 2 or 3 of these a day. So there's a little bit of a difference there. So, but you have to find your comfort zone, and then you can bump it up. It's a great time for you and all students in this that are reading this manual to start practicing saturation dosing. and you'll have a direct experience of this protocol. Having the understanding and confidence in teaching this model to others will make a big difference for them. To experience a quantum leap in healing and reclaiming your well-being requires discipline, motivation, courage, and faith in yourself as well as the process. Any questions?
No.
All right, we're going to go to page 32. Now this is a little different because most of the classes people take turn reading, but I'm comfortable. All right, 32 through 39. It's a picture with the baby, chapter 5. Research and clinical studies. People are going to ask you this kind of stuff. You get used to it. I've been hit up with plenty of hecklers. The people are trying to tell me I'm a kook, I'm in a cult, that I'm crazy, and I should be locked up. And I've learned to hold my stand, just to stay strong, because we know what we got. We know what we're talking about. They don't. So they come from a different reference point. And these are the folks that come on to the social media groups just to heckle the people who have a great lifestyle for themselves. You can tell they're the trolls, they're the ones that get off topic, and they start criticizing people on the group, and everybody picks up on that really quick, and we delete them and get them out of there. Because this water is not based on science. It's not based on empirical evidence. It's based on direct experience. So here's what the book has to say. All human beings have drank their own water while growing a body in the womb of their mother. In the natural biological heaven of the human reproductive process inside the material womb is where the formation of our body took place. The first step was the formation of mother cells, the heart, brain, kidneys, bones, basic organs, nerve cells that receives and transmits, and above all, the coordination between sensorial organs and the incredible balance of genetic information, cell reproduction, and the bioengineering stimulation. There's a magnificent God that builds us. I mean, we could never even have it. Amazing. Inside the material womb, we are in complete peace, comfort, and harmony, preparing ourselves to come out of a new life in a new external world. A human's perfect time on earth may be during this time, the gestation period. Orin therapy is literally a gift from God or Shiva. It is a built-in part of our nature. There is no human on earth that has not taken his own Orin. In our first 24 to 30 days, we start peeing inside the amniotic fluid. And you've been with it ever since. We kind of had like I don't want to ask you your age, but some people, they start doing urine therapy when they're 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, blah, 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 right? It's like, okay, you're making up for all that missing time. Yeah. I'm glad I caught up. Through the umbilical cord, the baby does receive special nutrients such as immunoglobulin, I don't know if I pronounced it right, vitamins, and most of all, oxygen from the mother. When the body reaches the age of 5 months, they urinate 400 to 500 milliliters each day inside the sac. And between 8 to 9 months, the baby urinates 20 to 30 times every 24 hours. That's almost like 90% of the womb is our water. Pretty amazing. 98% of the composition of the Orin is water, 1% is elements consisting of cells, filaments, and the other 1% is made up of 4,000 healing chemical substances in the forms of ions, electronically charged atoms. Powerful substances found in milligrams that carry the genetic information and energy of what works well or not in the body. A fetus swallowing its own Orin is not only sterile and safe, it is essential for proper biological development. A decrease in fetal Orin production or excretion can result in a reduced amount of amniotic fluid. The Orin that a baby produces in utero doesn't pose any risks, even when the fetus consumes its piss. It's not only normal, but also healthy for a baby's body to run organ system functions, as well as develop swallowing, breathing, and other actions needed for thriving. Your body creates an ideal environment that protects the baby as it develops. Temperature control, nutrients, stem cells, antibody protection, and more are just a few of the automatic benefits a baby gets in the womb. The germ situation isn't comparable, for example, to a toddler putting anything they find on the floor in their mouth. While floating inside the womb, in their orin and amniotic fluid, babies open their eyes and can see light from the outside. Although a baby's eyes can, quote, see light starting around week 16, their little peepers aren't fully formed until about week 20. The eyes first open between weeks 26 and 28. So they're looking at their womb. I wonder if anybody remembers that. I'm gonna have to put some people under hypnosis and see if they can go back to that experience. Their vision is blurry, but they can see in response with a flutter of activity to a bright source of light, like, for example, the sun or a flashlight pointed to a woman's belly. Babies can hear more than we realize. Babies are bathing their eyes in orin and observing their water world with open eyes, while using this time to learn how to breathe and use their lungs. Babies snort amniotic fluid filled with orin up their nose. It's thought that they can smell food as well. Interesting thought. We already have experienced drinking orin through the nose from the beginning of our lives and just forgot. Mom getting outside helps a baby's eyes develop and reduce the risk of a few eye disorders. When you drink or topically apply orin, you take it in your own free auto vaccine. Unlike any man-made vaccine, orin has no side effects, harmful chemicals, or toxic materials. In other words, orin is part of the beginning of life, and we literally grew up with it, built into our nature. It's a wonderful cycle of life that should never be interrupted. And here's a little kind of like a poem or a passage here. Nobody can live without water. For that reason, water is a sacred element. Nobody can live without air. For that reason, air is a sacred element. Nobody can live without fire. For that reason, fire, including the sun, is a sacred element. Nobody can live without taking the orin inside the mother. For that reason, orin is a sacred element. The medical applications of orin and its constituents have been tested, discussed, researched, and utilized to such an extent throughout the 20th century that it seems incredible that almost none of us, including the majority of our doctors and medical administrators, have ever heard anything about it. No surprise, because to get a doctor's license, at least in the United States, they only required 2 hours of study of nutrition, which explains why they never bring it up. And if they did go to the extent of learning nutrition, and they learned the difference between what real food is and fake food is, and they started telling you and you started getting better, you may stop going to the doctor. And, you know, they hate to lose a cash cow. All right, any questions about that? So when that comes up to you and people say, you got any evidence? Do you have any peer review articles? Do you have any data that you can show me? What would you tell them?
To look at that book.
Well, there's that too, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, just my own experience for a start.
Yeah, that's the best example, because they're going to see you look great. What are you doing? You can tell them. I do this old practice of drinking blood plasma water. What? However you want to introduce it to them. Yeah, do that.
People are so shocked to find out that it's been going on for over 5,000 years. People just blown away when you tell them that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the oldest traditions that have been on this planet are typically kept to the indigenous people.
Yes.
You know, or the people who have become gypsies or hippies, or they discovered that nature has answers and not man and medicines. All right, so we're going to go to chapter 6. Students take the turns. All right, reading 32. What's on page 25? Hold on a second. Oh yeah, page 25 through 31. I've not read this yet. We can come back to page 40 here in just a minute. It starts off with the headline, Orin is the best and last supplement that I will ever buy. I will never buy. Did you find that? Okay. Many water brothers and sisters are being called by Shivambu and simply know and trust that it works. The way to know for sure that Shivambu can be an answer to your health and well-being and wellness takes discipline, practice, commitment. Not only will you see results soon, you will be able to live a long and healthy quality of life by maintaining a continual daily practice. By the way, anything you do in your life is your practice. So if there's things that you do in your life that don't give you the results that you want, like good health, good relationships, good financial flow, then it's a good idea not to practice those anymore. And switch them. I mean, some people call them habits. Some people, I like to think of them as disciplines or practices. So when you build this into your lifestyle, other things will all be affected and uplifted by this practice. It's the same with prayer and meditation. It affects everything. How does Orin affect attitude, emotions, and behavior? Thanks to the presence of various hormones and nutrients, drinking or topically applying Orin balances and improves one's attitude while restoring better brain health. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Benefits from UT include feeling good in your body, better confidence, concentration, mental peace, improved memory, clarity, and creativity. Thanks to Orin with nutrients like serotonin, melatonin, oxytocin, magnesium, B vitamins, DHEA, people report feeling calm, present, and safe. Did you have a background in nutrition, or did you spend any time in your life studying nutrition? Daniel
Me?
did. Yes.
Well, I've done the China study. I've done a lot of vegan research and studies,
Okay.
but not the traditional nutrition. Nothing.
Yeah, all I'm saying is if you have some kind of a grasp on terms like vitamins and minerals, essential fatty acids, aminos, then you can use this in explaining to people, why is it making you feel calmer? Why are you able to have more clarity and your energy is there? Well, it has these nutrients that are well known to relax the muscles, to help the nervous system, to help your adrenal glands and your thyroid. That's where, pulling that out of your head sometimes is helpful when you have these conversations.
Yes.
Not required, but it's helpful because it's good to know who your audience is when you're talking to people. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a metaphor for life, but whoever you talk to, you got to know what their language is.
Yes.
With the absence of chemicals that cause addictions, many have gained their freedom from these self-destructive habits within a week of drinking their pee. This newfound confidence has been inspiring many UT enthusiasts to radically change and improve their food choices, some call it diet, even more toward living foods or a fruitarian lifestyle. Shivambu, like breathing, is a miracle. Am I still reading? All the way to page 31. Okay, still with me? You have a question, Daniel?
No, I was just.
Still with me. That was it. I'm still with you. Okay, thank you. Question, are there any exceptions to who can benefit from UT? The answer is yes and no, but let me read from the book. No, urine therapy can be practiced by anybody, whether they're young, old, babies, sick, healthy, without any expenditure and with a little basic knowledge. It does not produce any side effects, after effects, ill effects, which are generally unavoidable with the use of medicines or surgery. AUT treatments are fast, inexpensive, harmless, safe, and simple to administer for any chronic or acute illness without the help of any doctor or medical profession. Can I hear an amen? Amen. Amen. Thank you. Shivambu devotees are healthy people who rely on UT to remain healthy. whereas a sick person can be free of their challenges very promptly. UT is self-evident, self-contained, and reliable source of water of life. And this is where we're going to jump over to, okay, we're going to jump over to number 40 after this. And it'll all tie together. You'll see in a minute. Can pets be treated with urine therapy? That's a yes. Have you applied these with your cat?
Dog.
Yeah, I did my last dog.
Oh, so you've been feeding your cat or putting on her fur?
I put some on my cat's fur. I was hoping to get rid of fleas.
Yeah, keep doing that.
Yeah.
And do you have any other pets?
Me, I used it on my dog who has passed away, but yeah, I used it for her because she was vomiting a lot. So that slowed it down a bit. Yeah.
Right. And Daniel uses it with his dog. That is a yes. Okay. Many of the research tests on Orin recycling has proven it works well with animals. Veterinarians have successfully used Orin therapy at clinics as a treatment by administering Orin orally. We're getting lots and lots of testimonials of pet owners who are giving it to their dog and their cat and their ferret and their gerbil and their parrot. Whatever they got, they're getting results. So that's a testament all to itself.
They'll drink it over the tap water or any other water because they know they can smell how many nutrients are in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got 200 senses in their nose, so they're pretty refined. One of my friends feeds in the water bowl of her dog. She puts her urine and the dog's urine, and the dog just empties a bowl. She does Orin baths a lot, and I'm waiting for her to upload. She's going to do a video on this. Her dog, she'd come out of the house, she'd be out of her bedroom, and she'd walk into the bathroom. The dog is not only playing in the bath water. This is her golden water. She's drinking the water, and recently in the last 2 full baths, she was pulling the cork out of the tub and draining the bathtub. You know, as the human was walking in, and it's their game now because I know the human was not going to reprimand the dog because it was a game. So they naturally know. They naturally know this is for them. Takes us a while to catch on.
Yeah.
Which diseases can be remedied by urine therapy? Orin is your body's perfect medicine, not a man-made medicine for any disease. It's a means provided by nature to keep up the health of the body and cure the host or body, you, of any disease, regardless of personal beliefs. As such, there are no limiting conditions. There's no limits, no conditions that cannot be healed. It is only the mind that creates difficulties or impossible tasks for our body to heal itself. Orin is a natural auto vaccine that acts as an immune modulator that is very specific and personal. Auto vaccine is defined by the medical dictionary as a vaccine prepared from cultures of organisms or a virus from the patient's tissues or secretions. I look at it differently since I wrote that book. Do you mean that even, I'm skipping to page 29 because I really want to get to the whole body connection part. Do you mean that even a diagnosis is unnecessary? Whether using medical devices, kinesiology, or intuition, these are all subjective or a guess. The answer is correct. Diagnosing any disease is unnecessary. UT itself traces out the disease in the manner the police search out a thief in hiding and turns them in. Do you have any questions about why you don't need to call it or name it or diagnose it?
I don't like to. I think I told you before, I just say no to diagnosis.
Why?
I think it puts your mindset already in a block. This is what I've got, and instead of healing, you've got this disease. Instead of looking at a focus of healing. or being
Also-
free of the disease.
Yeah, I agree. And have you ever read a book called The Four Agreements?
No.
It's by Don Miguel Ruiz. He's from the Toltec Indian tradition. The four agreements, he says, when you go to a doctor and the doctor diagnoses you and gives you a disease name, he is doing black magic on you.
Oh,
It's a hypnotic suggestion, so you'll go in agreement with it, and then he can sell you the cure.
okay.
All right. So if you just look at the body as performing one of two cycles, it's either in cleansing and purification, or it's in nourishing and rebuilding. So it's in a cycle. And if it looks intense, if it looks like a detox or a Herkimer die-off effect, then your body's doing its job, and you just have to learn to listen to it and to go along with it and to support it. That was a yes. Can you give an example? Let's clarify the point by illustrating a historical fact. Perfect health is essential in yoga. Otherwise, concentration is likely to be disturbed by bodily disorders. Even mild attacks are likely to disturb meditation. It is therefore essential that a practitioner of yoga be free of all physical troubles. How do you accomplish this? The mystics of India, using intuition or wisdom from long experience, found out that the cure of Oran was remarkable for all health complaints. Pretty simple. And this is something that we need to be able to do, not just because everything is so complicated these days, but we have to learn to simplify everything.
Yeah.
You know, you simplify your understanding of your reality in life. You simplify the way you eat. You simplify, I mean, everything I own is in this room. You simplify there's my massage table, and the bed is a mat that thin. I put all the bedding out, and then I fold it up, put it away in the morning. So you got to keep your life simple so that it doesn't crowd your ability to stay present and to feel everything that comes through your heart. And so when you're overloaded with things you have to keep in your mind, or lots of possessions, or tons and tons of things that aren't really using anymore, it's a good idea to simplify. And Shivambu simplifies it. When you really get into this lifestyle and doing the Shivambu, you can walk into a health food store and walk through all the rows and rows and rows of products you used to buy and laugh. I don't need that. I don't need that. I walk through a health food store, I feel like I'm going through like a museum of old history. Like I'm walking into another paradigm. So any questions? Any questions? Nobody? Okay, this is important. Chapter 6, page 40. And this is going to explain to you why some people don't get well using urine therapy. You go, what the hell? You said it was a cure-all. It's a panacea. Well, it is, and it isn't. What I mean by that is if you keep it all in balance, all 4 pillars of health, that's the holistic model, which is the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual, everything comes back into balance and everything works better than ever. But if you're just drinking the urine, but you don't change your diet and you're still eating stuff that causes mucus and inflammation and toxicity, blah, blah, the urine is going to act like a Band-Aid. It'll be a lot slower and a lot harder and difficult for you to get well. And this is when people go, it's not working. Well, they didn't change anything. So you have to work with the water. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, this is page 40. I'm going to read 3 pages to page 43. Then we're going to take a mini break here, like an 8-10 minute break. The whole body-mind connection way to supercharge AUT effectively through optimum diet, attitude, emotions, and self-love practices. I realize, and you may realize, that there are certain words that you use that may seem natural and you're comfortable with it, but it polarizes people. And one of the words is God. You know, some people have an issue with that word, and these are just words. They have an issue with love, and they have an issue with the word spiritual. So sometimes in my writing, I change that word to self-love, our inner wellness. So you got to know who you're talking to. That's why I did that. Why does UT work for some people, not for everybody? I pretty much explained it, but let's just go through it real quick here. Healing is more complex than just purifying or detoxing the physical body. Improving the diet, fasting, cleansing, right thinking, mental attitude, healthy emotions, and spiritual practices increase Shivambu's benefits and results. Health is the result of the balance of all four pillars that hold together the foundation of health with a client must achieve to produce permanent well-being. Understand? Yes, okay. People who are miserable or people who are self-destructive have much more work to do on themselves than do grateful, joyous people.
Yes.
The people, does that make sense?
Yes.
The people who are joyous and grateful, they're more motivated. And they don't have a hardest time as the people who are depressed and sad. A well-trained or intuitively sensitive UT teacher will make inquiries into every area of a client's life in order to design a well-rounded program to accelerate, deepen, and secure results. Detailed questioning is more thorough than just advising clients to do UT protocols and wish them well. Do you know what I mean by that? When you're having a consultation or you're having just a brief conversation with somebody, if you're just talking about the technical aspects of doing urine therapy, you drink it, put it in your eyes, all that stuff, you're not really addressing their deeper issues. And if you decide to go deeper into their mind or their beliefs and their patterns and thinking, then that'll be a much profound and more long-lasting healing than just the physical. Because the core of everything is what's eating you and what are your emotional things you never address and your insecurities. So we can help people if they want to go there. Otherwise, I won't go there because they'll turn and run. By taking the time to do follow-ups will bring added confidence and reassurance to the client as you work together as a team to change, improve, and to save a life. Shivambu is the gift of health. The human body requires the balance of all four pillars of health and wellness in order to achieve and maintain its health and longevity. Mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects have to be working as one team for vitality and energy to work at its optimum. Illness can occur when a person is only focusing on some, but not all of these aspects of health and well-being. When making inquiries with clients, the compiled information will let you not only determine which direction to guide the session, but also how to make general treatment suggestions in a program that includes all of these health aspects of health. What and how well we eat affects the color, the smell, the texture, and the taste of the water. Those consuming a raw vegan or fruitarian diet tend to have a clearer, tastier, and more aromatic smelling orin than do people eating meat, dairy, or processed food eaters. This also includes those using alcohol, whether it's prescribed or recreational drugs. That been your experience, guys? The cleaner your diet, the better your water looks and tastes. Yeah. Bingo. Orin is also affected by your state of mind or your emotions throughout the day, especially during meals, snacks, or drinking fluids. Now, I know people don't talk about this a lot because we're used to eating our favorite foods. I'm not talking about you and me and Daniel, but we're all programmed in our food slavery and our food indoctrination that you have to have these foods and you got to eat them in a certain timing. There's breakfast, lunch, dinner, however they do that. And most people put way too much food on their plate. They do not chew thoroughly. They talk while they should be eating, or both. And so they're not giving their body an opportunity to break down the food that's already pre-digested by chewing. So this is one of the fallacies that I see people, even the raw foodists. Oh, it's raw foods. Let's eat as much as we want as fast as we can. And the same rule applies. Take your time. Have a good relationship with your food. And a good thing to do is when you've chewed enough and you're satisfied and you look down on your plate and you still see food on your plate, push it away. Because if you eat till satisfaction, that's all your body needs anyway. Okay. Remember, there's only 2 reasons people get sick. Remember what I said? Two reasons people get sick. It's either what you eat or what's eating you. And most people just address the physical. That's as far as they get. Normal pH for urine is in the range of 6 to 7, with an average of 6.2. A diet high in protein from meat, dairy, cooked food, processed food, altered food, alcohol, caffeine, and drugs will not only lower the pH into the acidic state, it will increase the amount of mucus in the body, the blood, and the urine. Do you ever test your pH?
Yes, sometimes I do.
And what kind of measurement do you get?
The last lot was close to 8.
Good. 7 and up. 7 on up. Mine's been averaging 9 and 10. Occasionally I hear people that have 12 and 13. So they've really refined their diet. Anyone who is serious and committed to achieving their best health and will do everything possible to reclaim their biological terrain, which is the gut and the mind. The daily practice of Oren therapy is not only as effective in your self-healing as you are in cleaning up your diet, your mind, and your internal world. Simply drinking and applying Oren will bring results, yet at a much slower pace when the body has to constantly do house cleaning from poor food and lifestyle choices, which is causing obstructions into vitality, strength, and energy. And since I know you guys don't fall into that pit, you guys are doing great. A lot better than a lot of people. Oren therapy becomes 100 times more therapeutic as you move closer to a live foods diet or a fruit-based diet. Anyone going through transitional diet changes on the way to thriving on living plant foods, adding these will boost overall healing. Consider including looping or drinking more Oren every day. Frequent Oren enemas, fasting on Oren massages, and saturation dosing, along with much needed rest. Then you will achieve your health goals much faster. Do you live alone? Or do you live with a family or a partner?
Children. 2 children.
2 children. Okay. The reason I brought it up is if you're able to live in a situation where you can go in the backyard and get naked, then you can do a whole out massage and rub it on your body and let it sun dry. Or a swimsuit or shorts, whatever. I'm fortunate I live with some folks and we spent a lot of time going to hot springs where it's clothing optional. So our backyard is hidden from all the neighbors and we can go full out sunbathe in the backyard. So it's a great opportunity for an Oren therapist or someone who practices that you can go out there and be yourself.
Yeah. I can
Yay.
do that.
Yeah,
Daniel can do that too, right?
I've done that on the back deck. Hurts. Where I put a screen on one side and then got something on the other.
Yeah, I remember living in an apartment complex and it was on the 2nd floor and it had a rail next to the patio and I could just put towels over it and clip them on. And there was 3 feet between me and the top, and that's where I would sunbathe. So people don't have to go, well, I live in the city. Well, use your imagination. All right, so we are eventually going to go into the protocols, but for now, let's take a 5 to 8 minute break. I'm going to turn on the recording. So what I was saying is the body doesn't get sick, it gets well if we'll use our mind correctly and keep our thoughts positive, then the body can get well. But the medical model, and a lot of people look at the body as not perfect and broken and needs help. And that, like Daniel's saying, it's a spell or black magic. Of course, we're not taught in an early age that the simple, basic, universal law that thought is creative. And we're either
Yeah.
creating happiness or misery.
Yeah.
And disease is just an idea, though the body is just constantly detoxifying, and the mucus and the thought forms that are clogging our mind are the ones that are really creating it. And same with viruses, but they aren't viruses, they are parasites.
Mhm.
Or mold or mucus that is causing inflammation. And these viruses are mislabeled cells. How I explain them to people is they're the garbage trucks of the body that picks up all the stuff, not necessarily picking up things, but they're unrecognizable to the body and indistinguishable to foreign invaders. So they're just labeled that by the medical establishment, though terrain theory explains it on a much deeper level.
Yep, it does. And we're having to constantly relearn what a magnificent body we have. It would have been great if they taught this in school instead of all those other subjects that most people never either didn't remember or didn't use them in their life. Like how to grow a garden and fix things. All right, we're going to get into protocols now. And this will take us a couple of classes to do this. We've got approximately 2 hours left for today's class. And we're going to go to page 44.
Good. I'm going to be helping my mom while I'm listening.
That's
do
fine.
The Zen cleanse.
Right now?
Yeah.
All right, you want to put it on mute?
Listening.
You want to mute yourself? All right. No worries. Don't worry, be happy. Chapter 7. Donna, you want to do any reading or you want me to continue?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, sure, no problem. It comes with a job. Here we go. All right, warning. It's generally not recommended to combine urine therapy with the use of prescribed chemical, allopathic medicines or recreational drugs. The combination may be dangerous to your health. Why take the risk? Wait 1 to 2 hours before, and that warning was not meant to scare people away. It's just to get an understanding. You can still do those things that you're doing, but do the orally or topically 1 to 2 hours before or 30 to 60 minutes after eating or taking medication. This way, the Orin will not interpret it as an attack or compromise on the system, and it can still run its cycle until you're done with it. Okay, and the guys that are still doing prescription drugs have reported that after doing urine therapy for a couple of weeks, their brain chemistry changed and they no longer were using those drugs. It's like a cloud lifts and you go, what was I doing? Which is really a great breakthrough. All right, begin with the topical or external applications of AUT until you're free of all medication. Shivambu is a free all-purpose self-care medicine. Make Orin your default answer to any and all health concerns. Remind yourself, you carry Shivambu in a secret container known as your bladder, in a body that speaks a language just the two of you can understand. Returning the healing water from your source back to your source will ensure a long, healthy, and joyous life indeed. Build a lifestyle that will keep you young and healthy for your entire life by practicing UT protocols every day. We're on page 46. Ask any healthy, vibrant, and devoted Shivambu enthusiasts why they're happy and well. They will exclaim with great passion in their voice, I'm blessed with health and liveness because I drink my water. We lost Donna. She'll come back. Oral application of Orin. Let's take a drink. Look at all those stem cells. Stem cells. Ooh. Oral application not only addresses all diseases, Orin makes a perfect rejuvenating tonic. As a baby step, place some drops or dropper full of Orin under the tongue. Let's see what happened to her. Is she coming right back? We lost her. Okay. Here's baby steps for people who are newbies. This is what you do. Have them collect some Orin, put their baby pinky finger in the Orin and hold it up. And notice that you didn't get sick or die. We're building a new neural link, a new pathway to change the association we've had with urine. The second step is to take the same pinky or another pinky, dip it in the Orin, and then lick the pinky and notice you didn't get sick or die. The third step is to get a dropper bottle and to get a whole dropper full and stick it under the tongue or on the tongue. And then little by little increase it till you get up to a half an ounce, up to an ounce. When you get a couple ounces past that, you can cut the person free because by then they figured it out. Oh yeah, all I have to do is drink it. But then they've made a connection, a new association, and that breaks them free of the old repulsive ideas that people used to have that urine was disgusting. Yay, we're helping breaking them through that. The more you drink, the better you feel. Beginners start by taking sips of Orin through the day, and they soon are comfortable drinking more of their water. They are often amazed how quickly they feel their energy and clarity of mind return. The defining moment happens when one realizes that Shivambu is the real thing. They have seen the light and are motivated by the possibility of achieving their health goals and a wonderful life. Simply increase the quantity of each Orin drink as you make your way to 6 ounces or up to a liter or more size drink of refreshing golden plasma water. It is one of the best remedies for killing pathogens, viruses, fungus, parasites in the gut and the body, which in turn frees us from food slavery and all addictions. Taking Orin orally does not worsen or increase any health conditions. There is a slim chance it might be very mild and unrecognizable. When we drink fresh Orin in any considerable quantity, especially in the initial months of using UT, it may create diarrhea-like symptoms, which soon heals. Simply stop for a day, switch to topical protocols for the rest of the day. Then start drinking Orin again in smaller dosages, like 3 to 5 ounces. Increase the proportions when you feel that it's okay. Oral application of Orin is a generally accepted practice. For anyone serious about reclaiming and regenerating their health quicker, saturation dosing, which was explained in the next chapter, will make all of the difference between feeling okay sooner than later and feeling like your healthy self again. And there's the dog and Joy. Newbies is anyone new to drinking pee. Appreciate baby steps when starting Orin and going slowly because of the mental adjustments they are making in order to accept the possibility that doing this might be good for them. And Donna is coming back into the class. Welcome back, Donna.
Sorry, just
that's okay. Sometimes there's a glitch in the matrix. Something happens. So we're reading about the protocols, and we've gotten a good part of the oral application. We're on bottom page 48 and reading about, in addition to drinking, and this is after you introduce it to beginners and newbies, teaching them how to make a new neural link or a new association that's positive instead of the one they used to have, which was not positive. In addition to drinking Orin, everyone who builds a habit of practicing their favorite protocol every day can experience and discover how, in combination, they can receive maximum benefits and a quicker recovery. You can either practice the same protocols every day or try different protocols every other day until you get really comfortable and experienced with the protocols. Perhaps you'll be the discoverer of a new protocol. And people are doing this all the time. By practicing and mastering the protocols, it becomes easier to introduce and explain them to others. With a lifetime of confusing misinformation and ridiculous food rules with its dogma, no wonder why so many people are obsessed, neurotic, addicted, and anxious about what and how to eat for the body. Taking a break from eating, also known as fasting, based on family, society, religious, medical, or media programming around food, eating by the clock, not learning how to know true hunger from emotional, psychological hunger. And I added some new ones which weren't in the book, and that includes not chewing well, overeating, or eating too late at night. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have that go on? Did you ever do that? You ate after sundown, you ate after 8 p.m., you ate after 10 p.m., and then you had to. I confess, I did that. Yeah. I had a dad, I'd be waking up at midnight because he's downstairs in the kitchen raiding the refrigerator at midnight. Oh, just a midnight snack.
Yeah.
Why is that in our language? Yay, Dad. All right. Page 49. By practicing and mastering the protocols, it becomes easier to introduce and explain these to others. With a lifetime of confusion, I already read that part. Take a break. Freeing the mind from worrying about nutritional needs, medicine, healing, creating the energy and strength for health and aliveness, liberates you from obsessiveness around food, medicine, and all external forms of nourishment. This is where you come in and sensibly teach them a new food path along with UT practices and purification techniques to empower them to enjoy life again. Ready to experience your best health ever by drinking pee and practicing various disciplines to treat the body, mind, and spirit? Now it's time to grab your free personal page 50 personal custom-made medicine and get the most benefits from Orin therapy. The joy and return to good health by drinking your pee starts right here and right now. So this is how people get started. They'll start off with just 1 ounce, 4 ounces, and they'll keep increasing it until they realize it's not about how much minimum anymore. It's about how more you can drink. And when you've done enough fasting, you get to a point of discipline where instead of you would walk into the kitchen to create something to eat or look for something to eat, you go grab a glass of the Orin, and that's your meal. So learning true hunger signals is something we weren't trained. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and you might know this, Donna, sometimes when you're feeling a ting or hunger sensation and you feel it in your sigmoid, in the lower region of your large intestines, you know where that is? Mm-hmm. All right. Sometimes it's just contractions, opening and closing. It's attempting to release poop, fecal matter, right? And somehow we've been wired to think that's a hunger signal. Right. But I noticed for me, all I did was eat a banana and a date. Hunger went away. So I knew it wasn't what I thought it was. Yeah. Okay. So getting used to listening to your body will really save you from going through illnesses. Mm-hmm. All right. Page 51. We're going to meet Dr. Bunmi Samola from Nigeria here in just a minute. Spreading the time between food or medication and consuming Orin will prevent indigestion or negative reaction when Orin catches up with undigested food. Practice drinking plenty of Orin during intermittent fasting periods, which is not eating from sundown till noon. And then increase this length of time until you are fasting only on Orin and distilled water, optional when looping Orin for 24 hours at a time. Have you done any urine fasting?
No.
Daniel may have. Do you think you might?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So you will be thrilled to discover that after a full day of doing the things that you do, by drinking this water all day, you realize you didn't eat or you didn't even get hungry. And when I first started doing that, it blew me away. Here at 6 o'clock at night, I've done all kinds of projects. I've gone on a 4-mile hike. I've done this, that, and the other. I'm going, I didn't even think about food today
Yeah.
because you're drinking food. So it's a new way to understand what's going on.
Mhm.
Practice drinking plenty of Orin during the intermittent fasting until you're fasting only on that and the still water. Continue the Orin fast for 2 to 3 days or until you feel better. And that's a picture of Dr. Bumi Samola, and he's the guy who in Nigeria was sick at age 9 or 10, and his mom fed him her Orin, and he healed himself. It made such an imprint on him that he, 25 years later, became an Orin therapist and is building a clinic at his house in Nigeria. I've gotten to know and love Bumi. He's part of our family. So if you ever get a chance to meet him, he's on social media. Page 52, evolving, some call aged urine, will be explained in a later chapter. Orin for 4 days, if you hold it and let it evolve for 4 days or more, and try drinking 3 or more ounces on an empty stomach, you'll notice the difference between fresh versus evolved Orin. Drink 2 to 4 ounces of fresh Orin every time you get a craving for the substances that you abuse, especially food. Find how simply drinking Orin when you get hungry can curb the appetite and take the hunger sensations away. Fertility. Trying to get pregnant? The best and safest method is to start Orin therapy 6 months before trying to conceive and use it moderately during the days that you're attempting to conceive. You can use Orin diagnostic tests to determine when you're ovulating. You can use diagnostic tests to determine when you're ovulating and when you're conceived, and you can gear your use of Orin accordingly. That's night sipping. Okay, well, good. We're getting into the good stuff. Page 53. Although pregnant women are being treated successfully using urine therapy for morning sickness or edema, which is the retention of water in the body. For morning sickness or edema, some teachers believe that UT should not be used during the pregnancy without the supervision of a doctor familiar with the medical use of urine. Good luck. You can find such a person. Concerned about the natural release of toxins that may occur with Orin therapy at this time, you can choose to honor your concerns and feelings and avoid UT during pregnancy, or trust the innate intelligence of the body and Shivambu and sail right through it. I mean, just think about it. You're building this water world inside your body. And the same thing that's being built in your body with this fetus is keeping all that area healthy, keeping the body healthy. So why would you miss out? Just trying to use some logic here. Yeah. People come up with these things. Children, page 53. There have been several research studies that deal specifically with the treatment of children using a UT. Oral drops, spoonfuls of the child's own fresh Orin are considered as the easiest internal form of the therapy for children, or you can use adults. You can use their parents, because there's probably a genetic match in there anyway. For acute flu, cold, viral infections, measles, mumps, chickenpox, here we are. Daniel made a good point while you're away. He says, Sage, why are you using the word disease in your book? Why are you even mentioning these diseases? Well, we're still moving people from one paradigm to another. So that's part of the transition. Small, frequent oral doses every 2 hours, 4 to 10 drops, or 1 to 2 tablespoons. Or if the kid's already familiar with doing oral therapy, ounces. This is on the low end of the scale. If you're wondering why it looks like it's only a couple of teaspoons or dropperfuls, that's the low end of the scale. If they're comfortable, give them as much as they want to drink. For allergies, the research studies indicate that several drops of fresh Orin should be given orally before and after meals containing allergenic foods or when allergic symptoms are present. If a child agrees to eat only raw foods, especially fruit, during a healing or cleansing period, the result will be quicker. This eating lifestyle will keep children from experiencing the unpleasant symptoms of a headache, nausea, gas, acidosis, poor food combining, constipation, and inflammation. Ultimately, raising children on live foods and AUT has proven to produce disease-free children who grow up healthier than children who eat like everybody else does. Navel soaks are excellent for treating allergic reactions. And when we get to the belly button soak, that'll make more sense to you. Another very effective method is called homeopathic dilution. Do you know what homeopathy is? Mm-hmm. I added it to the book just so people could use it as a reference point. I seldom talk about homeopathic remedies because everybody's going for full strength. Unless somebody's really, really, really sick, and then you want to like dilute it down to 1/10%, 100%. So it starts to get, the body starts to communicate with the urine, and then at some point you shift it and you start adding undiluted into their body. But for the most part, I don't talk about that with my clients. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's why it was included. All right, I already talked about pets and urine, so we're going to go over to night sipping. You're going to also learn a term on page 58 called sip looping, but we're not there yet. The practice of taking a sip of Orin when you wake up in the middle of the night to pee. This is easy when you get into, hold on a second here. When you get into the habit of leaving your Orin container by the bedside. It's a time saver, especially when you're not quite awake to coordinate body movements and have to find a way to the bathroom. Just keep the Orin jar on the nightstand by the bed. I keep mine either on the bed, near the bed on my desk, or I keep it on a windowsill. So I have to figure out how the heck am I supposed to position my body? I'm not really awake and I have to pee, and that's pretty much woke me up. So you got to find a way to do that at night.
A couple of people actually put a bucket by the bed.
By the bed, yeah, on the side?
Yeah, bucket, yeah.
Okay.
And then they can put it in the bath or put their feet in it afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Clever, multi-purpose. Night sipping is a practice of doing this at nighttime. It's a time saver. Next time you get up at the night to pee, save the output, take a sip, go back to bed. Some people like this because it adds extra nutrients like melatonin, serotonin, and DHEA into the body during its nighttime rest and regeneration cycle. Swishing or gargling. You guys are already doing this, but let's explain why it is beneficial. This protocol prevents bacterial overgrowth by cleaning away any toxic buildup in the mouth, tongue, and gums. Pour Orin in the mouth, swish it around your teeth, your gums, and tongues. Hold it in the mouth for a couple of minutes, swallow. Gargle with Orin several times a day, or every time you pee or think about it. Gargling Orin is good for a toothache, tongues, gums, throat ache, and all ailments of the mouth, including bad breath. And bad breath, you know what the cause of bad breath is. Food is fermenting in the stomach. It's because you have acidosis. You have too much acidity in the stomach. And so it comes up and it's in your mouth, and people go, oh, yeah, bad breath, because the person has to change their diet. They don't know it. Mm. Pulling is the same as coconut oil pulling. You might be familiar with that.
Yep.
Yes. So the only difference is hold it in your mouth for 5 minutes or longer. And that's called Shivambu or Orin pulling. Now, looping. Are you already looping?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's an explanation for people who will watch the recording when we get it uploaded. Looping is a practice of repeatedly drinking Orin for the entire day. By looping, which is basically drinking all the pee that you collect during the day, by doing this, you gain the benefits from the recycling and refiltering of the dense micronutrients, the reproduction of trillions of stem cells and antibodies. When eating while looping, it's less stress on the body to eat foods moderately that consist of living foods and/or fruit. Another way to describe these foods is they have high water content and enzymes. And that basically leads you to fruit again, because that's the highest frequency food that we know of, other than Shivambu and air. So that's pretty cool. The advantages of looping during a fast over other forms of fasting, including water fasting, is that you get more and denser nutrients than juice or water. Orin is the most nutritionally dense, bioavailable, absorbable, and activated living water in the world. I got to add this word structured because it's coming up a lot in people's conversation. You know what that means? Structured water?
Blessing it can also structure it. Oh yeah, the structure is altering the molecular structure of the bonds of the molecules in the water.
Yes, and the only way that we've known so far how to determine that it's structured water is under magnification using a high-powered microscope. And there's a girl named Fiona out there in California who attended one of my earlier courses, and she would zoom in at 50 to 100 times magnification and see crystals. She's been posting these all over social media if you ever want to pick up on them. And that's our proof that we're drinking structured water versus bottled water, rainwater, whatever water. You do not come out of a fasted state, which gives you the advantages of the water-only fast. Your body doesn't have to stop cleansing and healing. Your body increases human growth hormone by 2,000%, along with many other beneficial substances with similar increases that occur during fasting. Every human being has already been drinking and looping pee for most of the 9 months they're in the womb, growing in a water world filled with piss and amniotic fluid. That sounds romantic as hell, doesn't it? Oh yeah, that'll draw everybody to it. As a baby, you naturally pee into the space you're floating in and drink or snort it down again, round and round it goes. See, the baby's learning how to breathe. And yes, Daniel.
Oh, I'm just creating a visual.
Is this the baby, the fetus swimming in the womb?
Yeah.
Look like a little dolphin.
Yeah.
Very nice. So if according to the medical system, page 58, guys, we got an hour and a half. If according to the medical system, Orin is a waste material, as we have been led to believe, see if you can track with this kind of thinking here, Donna. If it was true and we were led to believe that after spending 9 months drinking our pee, snorting Orin, floating in Orin, and growing a baby body in amniotic fluid, you would not have come out beautiful and smell like a brand new baby. You would have been born sick or dead. So the miracle is going on for the 9 months, but the medical profession interrupts it by taking you and doing all the crazy things they do. Yeah. All right, sip looping. Sip looping, you'll discover who coined the term here as I read. Taking a sip of fresh Orin, or as much as you can comfortably hold it in your mouth every time you collect your water, is called sip looping. Some consider this a sip of pee as a dose or serving size of the medicine. It's a great way to make and keep the commitment to achieving radiant health by supplying the body with what it needs to heal you on a regular timed basis. Instead of wondering if you meet the body's nutritional requirements by drinking Orin, sip looping will cover you. Does sip looping, a term coined by Doc Mike Whitford out of Chicago, reminds you of time-released pills that folks would take to get well? Remember time-released pills? They said that it would break free a little bit every hour or so. I have no idea. It sounds pretty sci-fi to me. So sip looping is real simple. Pee, sip, wait for it. Pee, sip, repeat. Now, some people have, for some reason, it's difficult, particularly folk like me, and they go, just take a sip, put it away, right? I don't want to just do a sip. I want to do an ounce, 3 ounces, drink the whole thing. But sip looping keeps that coming in and building its strength in your bloodstream. That's why we do this. It's a no-brainer. Even a newbie can sip loop. And after learning this protocol once, you're set for life. As your body gathers all the energy and information it needs from what you ate, from what's eating you, any compromising in your system or functions, your emotions, and how you are managing your energy, it masterfully blends the perfect elixir of immortality for you to drink and in the most perfect timing. Combining sip looping during fasting or when eating raw foods or fruit creates a better environment for the functions of the body's absorption, assimilation, and elimination systems. Be sure to save the entire output from the day. This supply adds up quickly when practicing sip looping. You'll be using this collected supply for all your protocols, which does include a bath. Begin storing and evolving half of this precious water supply to use in the coming days, weeks, months, or years. The other half of the supply will be used in the practices of your favorite topical protocols. Now, some people, we're going to skip over saturation dosing and head out to, remember, page 63 here. Now, keeping in mind that Orin is food, do you get on social media much or at all?
Too much.
Too much. Okay, so you put your feet into that social water there. People have experimented with adding Orin to their food, to their desserts, to their soups, to their smoothies, to their juices. I've tried it a couple times. It's no big thing. I tend to leave it, as it is. But since it's food, don't be surprised when you get an inclination to go, I think I'm just going to add it to my orange juice or add it to this, that, and the other thing. And it works just fine as long as it's more on the alkaline side. So that you learn over time with practice. All right, we're on page 63. Yeah, you see in the middle of the page, you see that chart? Yep. This is something I developed 3 years ago, and it's the Urine Therapy Protocols 28-day calendar. Okay. And still waiting for a digital graphics designer to show up in my life so we can convert this in digital format and everybody can have it. It's designed to give people structure who don't do structure very well, right? And they want to try these protocols, but they're not disciplined. So if you have that up on a wall, on a calendar, on a Monday, you're going to do an eye cup. On a Tuesday, you're going to do a foot soak. On a Wednesday, you're going to do an enema, blah, blah, blah. It builds it into their lifestyle. So that's why that one was designed. All right, at the bottom of 63 is storage suggestions for Orin. Choose the best container to store the water. The Damar Tantra tradition recommends the use of the following: pots made out of gold, silver, copper, brass, iron, glass, earth, clay, bamboo, bones, leather, or a bowl made out of plantain leaves, and you can also add a coconut shell. Whatever you have available, whatever you can find that'll hold it, use that. Of course, they didn't have glass cups back then. I don't think they had that. What to use as a cover, and I'm going to explain why when we get to the next couple points here, why this is optional to cover or not to cover. What to use as a cover: cheesecloth, nylon stocking, a flax or a hemp sprouting type nut milk bag, or even screwing on a lid, all works just fine. Whichever you choose to store the Orin will still result in a high quality evolving Orin. And here's an explanation. Since Orin is antibacterial, antiseptic, antifungal, and antiviral in properties, choosing to cover or not to cover is personal choice. Covering Orin keeps airborne pathogens, bugs, or insects from contaminating the water. That's really the main reason to cover it. And the rest is fear. Well, something's going to get in there. Something's going to contaminate it. Well, nothing can contaminate it if something as pure as Shivambu. But if you don't want to pick bugs out of your teeth, you don't want things to fly in there. That's why you cover it. Now, what I do at night is I put on a jar and I just screw on a lid. That's it. Or what you can do, and some people do this. Let me bookmark this spot. A real simple thing to do is just get a coffee filter. and you're done. Or if you want, get a jar lid that's bigger than the jar, and there, that'll lock it in. Pretty simple. We talked about keeping this simple. Drinking Orin any time of the day is the best time to have a drink. Shivambu is an intuitive medicine. It's designed into perfection for each of us. Drink as much as you can, whenever you can. Be sure to clean up the diet, get closer to eating live plant foods and fruit. The sooner you make the change, the better. All right, both of you guys have a tub for foot soaks?
Yes.
Good. I don't have to pull mine out to show you. At our last retreat, Donna, somebody had brought a whole lot. Oh, it was Daniel. Daniel brought 30 gallons with him. That was amazing to me. Well, somebody had a kiddie pool. One of those kiddie pools. It's round, it's blue, it's maybe at most a foot deep. And 6 of us, we poured urine inside the kiddie pool, and 6 of us were sitting in chairs with our feet inside the water, and we were having community urine bath together, foot soak together. And then other people, they had their tubs at the first retreat. Everybody we give gifts at the retreat. Everybody gets their own tub, and we were out in the back doing foot soaks for a half an hour. So let's read why it's so important. Now, it's near and dear to me because one of the things I've been doing as a career for 40-something years is reflexology. And so I've spent a lot of time with feet, getting to know the ins and outs and the points and how the bones fit and all that structure. So you'll find out why it's so effective doing a foot soak. Okay, page 65. Foot and hand soaks support the overall health of the body. These are useful for any irritation, fungus, infections of the feet, diseases, cuts, stings, bites, eczema. You can even add the word scratches. Foot soaks are good for nourishing all bodily fluids from endocrine, digestion, absorption, nervous system, lymphatics, and the immune system. You can add skin too, because that's another organ of elimination. Skin, lungs. Did I put lungs in there? I'll put it in there anyway. Place enough Orin. Now you're going to need at least 2 quarts minimum. 2 liters.
Thank you.
You had that. I'm not sure what he said. Look. So you want to get at least 2 liters. Yeah, Daniel, we're going to get to that in a little bit. If you can get a whole gallon, which is 4 liters, that's all better. But basically what you're aiming for is to cover up your feet at least to the ankles.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You see the picture there? You want to cover up at least to right around here, above the ankles if you can, if not right around here, because you got all these pelvis points in the ankles, the reproductive organs. You got genitals on one side, you got sciatic nerve, rectum. They're all in that area. So you want to be able to get those well saturated. Okay, if you got more than that, that's great. If you don't, if you got just enough to cover the soles of the feet, go with that. Okay.
Can you add water to that as well?
Oh yeah, and it's not uncommon people do that when it's been sitting out and it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to have that little mild shock of putting your feet in cold pee. So yeah, you can add hot water. You can add essential oils. You can add whatever you want. Place enough of it in the 2-gallon Tupperware type of plastic. If you have a brand name tub, some people have actually used a Pyrex glass baking dish and their feet fit in it. So whatever will hold the water is what you'll use. Go get barefoot. Wear loose fitting pants, shorts, rolled up yoga pants, pajama bottoms, or a swimsuit. Now, if you're at home and you want to be able to bring that up, massage it up the ankle, up the calf, and the shin, and the leg. Hi, Kevin. Then you could actually put this inside your bathtub and either sit over the edge of the bathtub or bring a chair into the bathtub, and you can do a foot soak and massage up the whole body. So you can get pretty clever about doing these protocols at home. So that's why I said clothing is optional while doing a foot soak, sitting on the edge of the bathtub or a seat. So you want to soak for at least 30 minutes. So bring something to do. Bring a book, bring some music, draw a picture, do something. Unless you're really good at being okay without talking or thinking, because you're going to be at it for 30 minutes. Use this soaking time to apply reflexology to the points on the bottom of the feet or hands to activate and open energy pathways for healing in every point. It doesn't matter whether you study reflexology or not, love and intention is what makes the magic work. Now, the pores of the bottoms of the feet, which is also the same, which is true in the secondary points, which are in the hands, have the widest skin surface or pores over the entire body. This often offers maximum absorption of the Orin into the bloodstream. So while you're doing this and your feet are soaking, if you remember, you can bend over and also put your hands in the tub. So you're achieving the driving of the nutrients both in from the feet in those extremities as well as the hand and the upper parts of the body. So you could do that. And if your hands are precious to you, you may want to do a hand soak either with the, just like that. Perfect. Look, we get demonstrations. He's like the Vanna White. Look what else we have on our show. Very nice. By applying
At the dollar store too. At the dollar store.
Yeah, and that'll hold the perfect amount. The medicine is instantly absorbed through the skin and transported throughout the body along the bloodstream and the cells. Remember, suggest the foot soak method to those people who are hesitant of drinking their Orin. You'll get people go, oh, no way, I wouldn't drink it. I said, would you put your feet in it? And most people say yes. Of course, I don't have the heart to tell them that if it's on your body, it's in your body. You just drank it through your skin. Let them figure it out. While the feet are soaking in the golden plasma water, use the opportunity to rub or dab Orin on the calves, the shins, the knees, as far up the legs as possible. The same protocol is used for doing hand soaks, except with a smaller size container. Have fun during foot and hand soaking time. You're worth it. This is excellent for treating fungus, infections, arthritis, which you mentioned, all skin problems of the feet and hands, as well as other health conditions throughout the body. Any questions? All right. You already know what an enema bag looks like, so I guess I don't have to show you guys again. We're on page 67. And we're getting a tour of Daniel's place. Okay. He never ceases to entertain me. All right. Any well-trained nutritionist, naturopath, or wellness practitioner knows that to restore the body to wholeness and balance, getting started on a series of colonics or enemas should be done as soon as possible. Hint, hint. Is he going to demonstrate an enema? Oh, that's his enema kit. Yeah, beautiful. For a chronic illness or for an occasional intestinal or body cleansing, Orin enemas are a lifesaver. Administering an Orin enema is a good way to remove poisonous substances from the body. Taking Orin douches for vaginal discomfort, pain, or health conditions works wonders as the Orin saturates the area, gets absorbed into the bloodstream, and brings relief. The nutrients are antibacterial, anti-candida, and antifungal, and anti-cancer properties. Orin enemas are a good way to prevent the destruction of hormones by gastric juices, buildup of toxic material, and obstruction or congestion, which is why this method often helps to cure allergic disorders better. This is also true for Orin injections. And as we mentioned in the first class, that gut health brings brain health. So any brain condition, whether it's Alzheimer's, dementia, PTSD, autism, depression, suicidal tendencies, addictions, that have been labeled a mental condition are the result of poor gut health. So, the sooner we clean up our pipes, the better.
Mm.
Furthermore, there's a number of compounds in orin that are better absorbed through the intestines than through oral ingestion. Many people will prepare a filled plastic or glass gallon container with full strength or diluted orin before starting a series of enemas. This will give you enough orin to give yourself 3 to 4 rounds of enemas. So the same thing holds true, Donna, with adding of hot water that you would also use in the foot soak. So if you're doing an orin enema and it's too shocking when you stick it up your bum and it starts to come in your backside, you can add some hot water so it's comfortable and closer to body temperature.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Now Daniel happens to have the stainless steel version with the tube and the clamp, and most people will use the silicone version because it's inexpensive. You can have it. But these will last you your whole life if you take care of them. It's a good demonstration. So this is how it works. You're going to set up the bathroom in a stage the bathroom area before you use it, which means you'll have your orin on one counter. You'll have maybe hot water on another counter. You'll have all the rugs taken out. You'll put in a bath, a towel, because you're going to be on the floor on the towel. All right. There's no one around. You're going to be naked. You're going to be on the floor. And then your enema bag will be hooked over either a towel rack, doorknob, shower curtain, shower door, wherever it's higher up than you, so that the gravity causes it to go down the tubes and inside of you. All right. So basically you lube it, lubricate the tip, get down the floor, you get in position, you insert it in there, let it start to gurgle and go inside your body until that's the clamp, until you feel like that's more than I could hold. Because you got a split few seconds to get up and sit. And so that's when you clamp it, get up, go to the toilet, take care of that. All right. That's a short explanation.
Right.
And you don't need an education. You don't need rocket science. I did have a student that was shy and bashful. She didn't know how to do this. She's going, how do you do an enema? Excuse me. One of my students comes to my house and says, will you give me an enema? I'm going, okay, sure, why not? I never asserted an enema for anyone but myself. So all of a sudden I'm a colonic therapist. And it went quite well, no big deal. So you want to determine the body temperature. You can use massage oil when you lubricate the tip. It's better than if you use a neutral oil, like sesame oil, grapeseed oil. But olive oil seems to be a little bit too thick for people. I mean, you can use that if that's all you had. If you're going to put essential oils, make sure if you put it inside the enema bag, don't use any volatile oils that will sting you in sensitive areas like peppermint, oregano, basil, cinnamon. Those things are volatile and they will sting. So you'd have to dilute them with a carrier oil. You know this stuff, right?
Yes.
All right, good. I'm talking to the choir. Bottom page 69. The next step after filling the lower intestines, while sitting on the toilet, hold it in as long as possible before letting it go. Optional. After the material is discharged, apply fresh or revolving orin on the skin of the entire body. Another optional choice is to get into a tub filled with hot water, as hot as you can stand it. Stay in for 20 minutes, and this will open up the pores and the steam will get things discharged out of the body. Or after that, go to bed, cover with a few blankets if needed, and see if you can sweat any of the toxins out. We will be mentioning body wraps in the protocol section. Are you familiar with herbal body wraps?
I haven't done them, but yeah, I know.
Okay. What they do is they cover you in either cotton, wool, or some kind of fabric, and then they rub you down with some kind of herbal concoction, and then they wrap you like a mummy and leave you there for an hour, and then you sweat, right? You can do the same thing with Orin.
Oh.
Full body wrap. Douche with Fresh or Evolving Orin, page 70. The nutrients, as well as the antibacterial and all those other cool properties, are the quickest, safest, and most effective way to eliminate pathogens, parasites, yeast, candida, fungus, tumors, discharges, and unhealthy bacteria. Try inserting 3 to 6 ounces of Orin in the colon. Hold it as long as possible. This is known as a rectal implant. And what people are doing here is they're just putting 3 ounces inside their colon before going to bed and letting it just absorb wherever it can absorb. And then when they normally go to poop in the morning, it'll come out or it'll be absorbed. So that's like a simpler version of doing intestinal cleansing, at least from the lower end of the rectum. A cleanse is even better when a rectal implant is done after a bowel movement. And some people do that after they've already had a bowel movement. Then they put in the 3 ounces and go about their day. This might be easier for some people if they're in the presence of supervision to know these different steps and what you can do. This is why I like the idea of people going on retreat and doing purification practices, because they've got supervision. They got someone who's going to guide and facilitate them. They're not going to feel so overwhelmed by the task. All right, page 71 is ears. Rinse the ears with Orin with either the palm of your hand or use a dropper to apply Orin drops in the ears. While head is tilted to the direction opposite the side of the filled ear, massage or pull the inner edges of the ear lobe to encourage the Orin to sink deeper into the ear. Got ear health challenges? Squeeze a dropper full of Orin into the inner ear canal, aka the eustachian tube, with your head lying down on the opposite side. Hold Orin in the ears as long as you can. Try leaving it in the ear for 5 minutes. When ready, tilt head to opposite side, let it drain, and then repeat it with the opposite ear. Use Orin ear rinses to treat hearing, tinnitus, or any ear infection, or even wax buildup. An alternative method to ear drops is to place an Orin-soaked cotton ball in the ears. Keep it in the ear for an hour and then remove it. Tip the head to side of the ear and massage thoroughly the ear to either absorb or drain the remaining Orin. Q-tips are those, you know what Q-tips are, right? They're useful not only in applying and dabbing Orin inside the ears, but they can also be used in other ways, like in around the nostril. Many people will easily sniff a finger dipped in pee as a beginner's method of drinking Orin through the nose, while others prefer the use of a Q-tip to swab Orin in the inside of both nostrils to clean out bacteria in the nasal passage as they lightly sniff the Orin. It's a personal choice. Now, what I do sometimes is just dip your finger in and just sniff your finger. It's like you're getting the essence of it upside your nose. If you don't have anything to squirt it up, you don't have enough in your hand, just get the essence of it up inside your nose. Or if you got some condition around your lips or whatever, you can just start dabbing it into places. Forget about cotton ball soaked in Orin as well as a remedy for specific conditions. In an emergency situation like a hornet sting, a wasp sting, a burn, poison ivy, whatever it is, you'll need to move quickly using this treatment. Forget about rushing home or scrambling through the medicine cabinet or bathroom or even running to the hospital. Either pee directly on an infected area or pee in the palm of your hand and transfer it to wherever you need to in the body. You got to know that your go-to. And if it's your go-to, that's the first thing you go to.
Yeah.
And you don't have to spend time trying to figure it out. Doesn't that make life a little simpler?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And you can, all that money you save, you can use it for something else. Whatever you want. It's all good. All right. Eye rinse. Page 72. Eye rinse. Obtain an eye cup from a local drugstore, health food store, or get it online. Fill an eye cup with fresh Orin to avoid a sting from the astringent quality of evolving Orin. Now, some people who've gotten used to the sting with the evolving Orin, they stick with the evolving Orin because they want the potent version. So they pop it back, blink their eyes, it stings for 3 seconds, sting goes away, the protocol's done. And some people will dilute it with either fresh or with distilled water. So you figure it out. And goggles are also in the list. See, this is like my personal assistant. He just stands there. He's dialed in. He knows. So you get an eye cup, you put in your eye, you press it, you create a suction. You want to blink 5, 6, 7 times. You want to, you're treating your eye, your iris, your sclerella, the cornea, everything, and the water will go into your eye. And so you want to get the nutrients around that so any health challenge you have with your eyes can be addressed. And then when you're done, you simply change eyes. There's still going to be plenty left in the eye cup. You just change eyes. And then after you've done the other eye, you just lean back and pour it over your cornea. If you want to do that, or you can drink it or whatever you want. And that was an idea that was given by Dr. Rosalind Hanson. And so she got acknowledged in the book. The eye rinse protocol supports eye health, bringing relief to tired eyes, burning or painful eyes. Use Orin eye rinses to treat all irritation, cataracts, poor vision, floaters. Why is that not on the list? Floaters. Swimmer's eyes, sore or tired eyes, or any eye infections. To treat any type of eye problems, do the following. Drink fresh Orin into both nostrils from the time of awakening until 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., collect all Orin until bedtime. This Orin shall be collected for external uses. Give yourself an Orin body massage from someone or from yourself in the next few days. It shall prevent and treat many other diseases such as coronavirus. And this quote comes from Dr. Rakshak Malhotra out in India. He's been a coach and mentor of mine. Him and his wife have been practicing urine therapy for over 50 years. Wow. Yeah, he gets a star in my book. Quite a guy. Orin fasting, page 73. Gonna take a sip, be right back. The ultimate choice in purification. Question: how does one go on an Orin fast? Page 74, answer: fasting is a conscious vacation from food. It is a yoga of mindfulness with attention on the body and mind during a cleansing and rebuilding time, and not on eating. Collect and drink up to 100% of your Orin shortly after peeing. Drink only Orin or combined with distilled water for the entire day. Drink enough Orin to satiate your thirst to overcome hunger sensations throughout the day. Drink 2 to 3 ounces or more. This is just to cut the hunger sensations. Notice that the hunger left. The advanced fasting practice is to drink as little Orin as possible for the day. This puts you on the edge of a dry fast. Either way, your body's going to benefit because it's not having to process and digest food. Avoid drinking Orin or any other fluids a couple of hours before bedtime. Otherwise, your sleep may be disrupted by trips to go pee. 2 hours before bedtime, take a break from drinking Orin. Collect, save your Orin in the large-sized glass container, like a 2-quart ball or mason jar. Use this Orin for all cosmetics, some called topical uses or oral applications for the next day or over the next few weeks, or longer, to allow it to continue evolving. Patience, this means you too, is required when drinking all of the Orin that you are peeing during the day. Since you drink your pee and have read this far in the manual, you earned a Pequot Flyer Award. All right, that joke just kind of went by. All right. Notice if you feel like your piquancy is at a higher vibration. By the way, my new book's going to be coming out in the next week or two. The Piscataway. I'm excited about that. Orange becomes clearer and more neutral in its smell and sweeter on the day that you do fast. Orange fasts have no limits on what health conditions it can improve. Orange fasting works quicker when combined with other natural therapies. Orange fast helps with house dust mites, mold allergies, chemical allergies, or with or without orange injections. However, orange injections, while fasting, are a more rapid treatment. Orange fasts increase stem cells, human growth hormone, antibodies, probiotics, steroid hormones, and their metabolites, and thyroid hormones. Orange fasting improves intelligence, imagination, creativity, sense of humor, short-term memory, and sharpens thinking abilities. I'm not going to read the whole list, but you can see there's a lot of benefits from doing fasting with orange, which you would never be taught in school.
No.
No, because we know why. All right, question, page 79. How long should I do a fast? Answer, start practicing intermittent fasting from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. daily. Skip breakfast, do a fast of about 16 hours. Your digestive system will thank you for the good rest. With orange, you can start with an ounce. Shot glass works well to measure this. Most serious drinkers will drink the entire amount that was collected. A basic orange fast can last 1 to 3 days. Now, people with serious conditions have been known to do 30-day fasts up to a year. It was Dr. Gary Young who was not doing a urine fast, but he fasted for a year and he got out of a wheelchair. And I always wonder what his life would have been like if he was doing a urine fast. It would not have taken him a year.
Did you say Dr. Robert Young?
Yes, from
Young Living?
Dr. Gary Young from Young Living.
Dr. Gary Young. Yep.
Yeah. I had a chance to meet him in 1991, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And we both, you know who he is, right?
Yeah, he came to Melbourne. I went and saw him years ago.
So I had the opportunity to meet him, and we both discovered we had the same teacher of reflexology, which was Stanley Burroughs, the guy who started the Master Cleanse. And so he endorsed me in front of 200 people at one of these hotel gatherings to teach VitaFlex to his distributors. And not too long after that, my wife and I ended up going around the country teaching reflexology to his distributors.
Wow.
What a ride. It was great.
Yeah.
All right. Your digestive system will thank you for the good rest. You can start with an ounce, and most serious people will collect it and do a 1 to 3 day fast. Typically, most fasts or orange fast will last one of these series of numbers, a 7 to 14 to 21 or 30 days. Some people have fasted 30 days or longer to heal serious health challenges. One man fasted on the Master Cleanser. That was Dr. Gary Young. There's his story. He threw away his wheelchair and takes brisk walks every day. Imagine if he was using urine therapy. Simply fast long enough to cure whatever disease you think you have. Always listen, trust, follow your intuition. John W. Armstrong, the author of The Water of Life, was known to have his patients do an orange fast for 101 days to cure blindness. The mere length of orange fasting can raise human growth hormone to very high levels while fasting and correct conditions. Soak a cotton ball or washcloth in fresh or evolving orange. Dab it gently or wipe it on areas to be healed. Use it for burns, sunburn, cuts, scratches, acne, bruises, capillary bursts. Let's see if I got one to show you. Capillary burst. All of a sudden it looks purplish and it's discolored. Like there, see it? Right? So you put on your evolving orange and it always heals in 4 days. I mean, I used to use frankincense oil, but now I apply it on the orange, and in 3 or 4 days, it's all healed up. It's like magic. So try that sometime. Not that you have. Same with varicose veins. Same kind of thing. And here's a face I don't recognize. Must be his grandmother. All right, so you can always use a washcloth at the bottom of page 80. We're going into page 81. Cotton ball or just your hands for topical applications. Are they entertaining you? These are the perks of the class. I didn't see this coming. We learn to not be attached to form. Rub orange on the skin. It cleanses, it rejuvenates, brings elasticity back to the cells and tones your muscles. It will leave the body in the form of sweat, pimples, skin rashes, fever, or as energy. Number 8, an orange body massage, including facials, scalp, head, feet, hands, and hair rubs, are very complementary to fasting and enemas as a treatment for skin disorders, diseased body parts, internal organs, wounds, and rejuvenating whole body tonic. Orange makes a good substitute for soap. If you're still using soap, this is your soap.
Okay.
Same with shampoo and conditioner. I haven't used shampoo and conditioner in years. And this is how it comes out after it's dried. It has body. A lot of times my hair looks darker. I'm 1 year of being 70. Is this how your hair's supposed to look? Take 30 to 60 minutes to receive or give yourself or another an orange body massage for well-being. Go slowly, softly, while massaging it toward the heart. Pay attention to massage the areas where the lymph glands are located. Send kind and loving thoughts and positive energy to the recipient. Allow at least an hour for the orange to be absorbed. When orange is absorbed in the skin, the odor of ammonia will be gone after a short period of time. It's also known as outgassing or evaporating. So this is good to know, particularly if you don't want to wash it off. You leave it in your hair, you leave it on your skin, and over a short period of time, nobody can tell.
Even if it's a hot day, it doesn't, if you're sweating?
Well, it eventually it has to evaporate. It has to do something, or it's going to merge with the sweat. I don't know, but most people can't smell it on me, at least after an hour or so.
Yeah.
So just play around with it. Not that you want people in your life sniffing you.
I have asked people.
Oh, good. And they were honest?
Yes, the people that I've asked have been honest, yeah.
Very nice.
Well,
Very nice.
yeah.
All right, we're on page 82. Orange massages are easy and to love and appreciate. It's worth the wonderful feeling of being healthy and invigorated. At our retreats, if people ask for an orange massage, one of the massage therapists will give them one.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned when I was massaging one of the girls at the retreat, we had a lovely backyard with a gazebo. So we set up a massage table out on a platform and they're laying down. We had a sheet over the table. Now, if it was over the grass or over the dirt, we wouldn't have to cover it, except, if you don't want orange on the table. So we had a plastic liner, and then we had a sheet, and then we had the client, and then we have another sheet. So the big difference I had to learn, I'm used to using massage oil. It's totally different when you're hitting the skin surface with water and it slides.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to go really slow, or just do it like a feather touch, and that's fine. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Scalp and hair massage, page 82. Scalp and hair massage is a general hair tonic substitute for shampoo and conditioner, dandruff, hair loss, and baldness. Using fresh or evolving orange, massage orange briskly into the scalp, allowing it to be absorbed 30 minutes to an hour or as long as possible. Then wash it out with lukewarm water or leave it on, that's personal preference, and get ready for clean, lustrous, and darker colored hair. It's amazing how many people have been reporting that their hair color is looking like they did when they were younger. Wow. And that probably explains why a lot of beauty care products have urea in it.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't tell you that because you would figure it out. But what they do, I don't know if I said this to you once, Donna, they cover it up with the scientific word for urea, which is carbamide or carbonamide, something like that. And so if you see carbamide or carbonamide on the label of these products, you'll know it's really urea from urine. That's how they get around their marketing. Remind your mind that you're giving and receiving a loving and nurturing massage using holy water and that you're worth it. Here's one of the simplest recipes you can ever come up with. Find a jar, pee in the bottle, pee in the jar, put it on the body, thrive. There's your recipe. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to mix anything. Do what you do. Nature takes care of itself.
Mm.
And here's food poisoning before we get into nose drinking with Samuel Cohen. Several research studies have shown that urea is a proven antibacterial agent. Orin has been found to contain antibodies to food contaminants, such as salmonella. Begin by taking 3 to 5 drops. Increased dosage is tolerated from a dropper full to ounces or more to neutralize the effect of food poisoning. And by the way, if you go eat at a Chinese restaurant, which you and I don't do anymore, I don't know if you knew this, but when they have a sign on the front window that says no MSG added, they're not lying, but they're also deceiving you because they're not telling you it's in the premix.
Yeah.
And so this is how they get around it.
Yeah.
Clever restaurant people.
Mm.
Any questions on what we've covered so far?
Mm.
All right, we're into the last 45 minutes of class. Nose drinking, sniffing, or snorting. This is Samuel G. Cohen. I met him when he was in Israel, and then he went to India, and then he went to Thailand. I'm not sure where he is right now, but we're working on doing an interview and possibly do a retreat in South America.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel Cohen brought nose drinking to the world. I mean, he wasn't the guy, but he was the one who made it most popular because he studied from his guru, Kelly Ra, who discovered it in his house in England. And so he discovered that there is a direct correlation between crossing it up here, between that and hydrating the sinus cavities and uncalcifying the pineal gland. And he brought it to our attention. Everybody's snorting and sniffing and drinking now. So here's a little bit about Samuel Cohen. Your best health ever may be a mere change of mind and a willingness to trust the success of many who are drinking it through the nose and can testify to the many benefits and healings they're having. This is how to teach others how to overcome their resistance or mind talk about this protocol. Meditate on doing this nose drinking. Take a deep breath, take baby steps. After dipping a finger in Orin, stick it up a nostril, sniff or snort it. Repeat the process in the other nostril. Congratulate yourself. Then, day by day, step up the quantity of Orin that you sniff until you're mentally ready to drink ounces of Orin through the nose. So this is him writing this whole, how many pages is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. I'm just going to do some of the highlighting. You guys can read that when you get a chance. It's designed to awaken the brain, activate the third eye, change the practitioner into a new being, a being who is way above what they have been known to be by the wider population. We read about Taoists in India using the method with Orin therapy. It was his guru, Kelly Ra Saliba, who discovered it in his bathroom in London in 2000. Now, 20 years later, what have we come to learn? Kelly offers his teachings via drinkingthroughthenose.com. Now, that website may or may not still be up and running, but he did finally put the book on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's available if anybody wants to get Drinking Through the Nose. I'm just kind of skimming over. I'm on page 87, middle of the paragraph about Taoist lovemaking. It feeds and nourishes our nerves and brain, similar to drinking Orin or specific juices, elixirs, tinctures, colloids, essences, whatever we choose up the nose as a nasal drink. Basically, the way he explains it is your nose is a straw. Think of it as a straw, not something that, I got to drink it up my nose. And I finally figured how to do it, and I won't demonstrate, which I've done in some classes, it's a matter of learning how to use this muscle here. because when you're pulling it up the nose, it doesn't go down the throat like when you drink it. It goes behind the skull, and then it finds its way back into the throat, into the stomach.
So is snorting different to drinking?
It's a different way to transport the urine.
So, sorry, drinking it up the nose and snorting, is that the same?
It's the same thing. You won't get as much quantity. That's all.
So,
You're going for the same result.
so drinking is just pouring it in, is it?
Okay, I'll demonstrate.
Thank you.
Demonstrate. You twisted my arm. All right, we're going to need a tub.
Yep.
I don't usually do public displays of nose drinking, but because you guys are class. All right, so you're going to tip it back. Now, these are stem cells. Have you ever wondered what that white substance is at the bottom?
Mm.
That's what that is. These are stem cells. These are antibodies. This is white powder of gold. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh,
This one stings, but you get the idea. I need some pressure. But what you're doing is you're collapsing the muscle behind your nose so it can go down your throat. Did I scare you?
just amazed.
So, and when it doesn't sting, you can do a whole amount. You can do 4 or 6, whatever ounces. Now, what Daniel's holding is, hold on. You can either get it in glass or you can get it in plastic,
Yes.
right? So you simply remove the top. Daniel, you want to demonstrate? And then you just pop it up your nose, snort, 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 and some will leak out, and you can either wipe it all over your face or you can get a Kleenex and take it off that way. But it's a quick way to get those into your brain and wake up your brain, particularly if you're getting sluggish brain. You can't seem to get any creative thoughts going. You know, your energy's starting to slow down. Boom, you pop it up your nose and you come back.
What I do is actually I drink it first to see if it's too strong.
Right?
I'll just squirt it. Yeah, that's too strong. Because I didn't label the days because it goes by so fast and it gets evolved over 4 days. It's a lot stronger.
Okay, I'm going to keep on reading here. So that's what that's all about.
Thank you.
When I went to the convention, Dr. Rosalind Hanson was demonstrating in front of a group of ADP drinkers. And she would just go, walk a little off, change nostrils, and I'm going, this is like Guinness Book of Records. Like, who does that? You have to be like a super person, a superhero? And I'm going, no, it's a matter of, it's just like when you sing, you got to learn how to use your throat muscle. There's muscles that we're never trained to use. So you get used to popping it back and creating a suction so it actually will go down the throat. Okay?
Okay.
Simply just throw out urine into a toilet when our vehicles are quietly aging, dehydrating, literally drying out is a shame. As a result, the body, this is from Samuel Cohen, the body has to remanufacture itself, which can be to put to use in self-healing and increasing one's well-being. Once we begin drinking Orin every day through the mouth and nose, including massaging Orin into the skin, next page is 88, our circulation heightens, skin appears and feels younger and smoother, plus our hair feels deeply nourished. I'm going to skip down to the bottom, page 88. We got about 30, 40 minutes. According to Samuel, it's impossible to get a cold when you constantly drink Orin through the nose. And I would add to that, particularly on a mucus-free diet. Because when I got rid of grains and went all raw and got rid of all these mucus-forming foods, I didn't need Kleenex. You know, you're not going to get colds. You're not going to have snot in your nose. And that's not normal.
Mm.
Everybody thinks, oh, it's cold season. It's supposed to happen. No, it's not. If you're eating right. You can feel under the weather, but one drink up the nose and any clouds start to evaporate. Samuel takes a cup with him everywhere. If I have to go to the bathroom, I take it with me, close the door, collect the water, drink it through the nose. You feel like Superman. You're going to go into a phone booth and do something nobody knows, and it's a secret. Yeah, I feel that way when I'm downtown, I'm at a bookstore, I'm at the library, and here comes a nature call, and you're going, I'm not going to waste this stuff. So you go in the bathroom, open up your cup and take care of it, and you walk out and nobody knows that anything happened but you. As you can tell, we live a unique life and a unique lifestyle. The next to last paragraph on page 89. Nasal wash works well with the use of a neti pot to flush nasal sinuses or nasal cavities. The intestines in the body contain a secondary set of sinus portals, and they are in charge of keeping the brain clean. Sinus problems, headaches, congestion, migraines are easily remedied with oral nasal flushes and navel belly button soaks. Other nasal methods you will receive great benefit include sniffing from the palm of your hand, sniffing soaked finger in each nostril, using a squirt bottle or a small 3-ounce enema, one of those silicone rubber bulbs. Any questions?
No.
So when you get a chance, you can read page 90 and 91 and 92 and 93. Those are different forms of using nasal drinking from a different author. And so whenever you get a chance, read that. Page 94.
Sorry.
Or an air purification using a nebulizer, a handheld respirator, a humidifier, or a diffuser, whatever you want to call them. The one in the picture is a diffuser that's used for essential oils. And I used that one for years until I discovered that little handheld mesh nebulizer that I showed you yesterday. So let's just read and then we'll take it from there. This is the easiest and least expensive method to purify a room of any airborne particulates, bacteria, or viruses. Either dust off and clean your nebulizer, diffuser, or humidifier, or buy one. An alternative would be a clean quart-sized spray bottle. And another alternative, which I didn't write about at the time, which I saw demonstrated at one of our retreats, is somebody boiled Orin in a 2-quart saucepan on the stove, and we took turns putting our head over it and getting humidity in our face. So if that's all you have, you can still use that method. I know some people are opposed to boiling urine, but some people find benefit in it. There was actually one of our students in England.
Sorry.
She claimed that when she took her boiled Orin out in the backyard, it dissipated chemtrails. I would love to see a video of that. Demonstration of diffusing Orin with a diffuser. Fresh Orin, 1 to 3 days old, is a common age used for this protocol. Nebulizing, another way of saying misting, Orin in a nebulizer results in clearer and more alive feeling air. Try adding a few drops of lemon or orange essential oil if Orin smells too pungent, or thin down with distilled water. Turn the unit on, enjoy a room made clean and fresh by your own water. Let it run for a couple hours before you turn it off. If you can find a nebulizer that has a light, like in this photograph, I wish it came out in color, but it didn't. It turns golden at night. This is so cool, and I don't have that device anymore. I turned off all the lights in the room, and the room was lit just by a gold light from the nebulizer.
Right.
The golden glow is more profound when using full strength Orin. Respirator protocol, middle of page 95. There are small tabletop sized respirators that work great with this protocol. Included with respirator is a tube with a mouthpiece and an optional plastic facial mask. Simply pour Orin in the chamber and cover the lid. This chamber holds approximately 1 ounce of a fluid. Place lips firmly over mouthpiece. Turn on nebulizer motor and inhale. To deliver your perfect medicine directly into the sinuses, master glands, and brain, use the mask for inhaling, nebulizing Orin. Page 96. Oh, we're moving into injections and other good stuff. Belly buttons. Handheld nebulizer. Consider this as a possibility. Find a 3 to 5 ounce glass bottle with a spray top. Bada boom, we've already demonstrated that. Fill it with fresh or evolving Orin. Mist it on your face, your hands, your skin, and eyes to refresh the mind and body during long drives, walks in nature, or sunburn, while sitting in a boring class or lectures, or any time of stress like being in the public or any public transportation. Nobody knows that you're snorting piss in your nose. Remember, we're superheroes. People don't need to know our power. Unless they're ready, they won't tell. Keep a filled bottle in the car or backpack. Whenever the air feels stale or has unpleasant odors, use it as an air freshener, disinfectant to cleanse the room or area of airborne pathogens, molds, or viruses. Carry a mist bottle in a purse or backpack. When on the bus, plane, cab, or train, be sure to mist or spray the headrest, and seat on both sides if possible. You're riding on to cleanse any pathogens left by untold passengers. If riding as a passenger for a long trip, you may wish to spray your bare feet or hands in order to stay relaxed. Once we get into the habit of collecting some of their pee while using a public bathroom to disinfect and wash your precious hands, using an Orin mist bottle works well. Spraying on the, by the way, did you take that part serious about me spraying it on an airplane or a bus?
Yeah.
I would do that, but few people would go, well, what if they smell it and connect it to me?
I mean, think about it.
What do you got to lose, right? They're not going to know. Anyway, we're at the bottom.
Oh, you.
What,
Okay.
oh,
You air it out and take off the lid and air it out in your backyard before you put it in the containers.
and that'll take the
So-
smell out
Well, a lot more.
a lot more than it would have been if you just bottled it and tightened the top on it.
Yeah.
Okay, spraying on the face, hands, and feet nourishes the body quickly as it wakes you up. Think stem cells, antibodies, regeneration of the endocrine and nervous system. It's a great way when traveling for long periods of time to refresh both the body and the mind. Or for using it anywhere you are in the public or in a public transportation, spray the Orin in the bathroom. You silly readers, did you think I meant on headsets, seats, and pass spray? I mean, I was getting carried away. I'm going, we might as well just spray the guy in front of me because he has a bad smell. But I don't think that's going to happen at this time. All right, does make one stop and think about actually doing this possibility. All right, any questions about nebulizers or air spraying use? Pretty understandable. Okay. We're in the middle of page 97. We got 30 minutes. Does your energy dip during the day? Here's a proven protocol that will energize and calm you. Keep a closed dark amber or cobalt blue bottle like this guy. That happens to be, yeah, like Daniel has. Keep it filled container in your purse or your backpack. Gargle, swallow a dropper full or more anytime you need to increase your energy or simply regain clarity of mind. This is like a lifesaver. And for us who no longer do subscription drugs, recreational drugs, over-the-counter things for improve your health, this will save you a lot of money, plus wear and tear on your body. The natural method is always the best and the safest method. Plus, use this for emergency situations. Drop and rub it on cuts, scratches, stings, rashes, bites, or sunburns. Like I said earlier, it's your go-to. And I also noticed myself around people who are complaining about this condition and that condition without even thinking twice. I'm going, you should try urine therapy.
Mhm.
I'm not even thinking about what's their response going to be. It's like it's a natural response from me now.
Mm.
So you might get to that point. Orin injections, page 98. Orin injections are usually reserved for life-threatening situations. For example, anaphylactic shock, seizures, passing out, heart attacks. This is a situation they're not in control of their body, much less in control of their bladder. So they're not going to think or even be able to produce urine and to know what to do with it. So this is where you would step in and save their life with injections. If you happen to have a needle, if you happen to have some urine, I mean, I just now thought about that. How many people are carrying hypodermic needles with them? But if you happen to be one of those people that was medically trained, or you just think about it and you have it in your emergency kit, and you can pull it out of your car or on your backpack, boy, that would be a lifesaver.
Mm.
Bottom of page 98. Be ready to face it, not to panic or interrupt the process with any unnatural or human-made medicine. Orin injections awaken the immune system and its warriors ready for fighting the disease. In cases of emergencies, when there is no time to lose, an injection with evolving Orin, which is the strongest effects that has been noticed, can save a person's life. Your Orin is always your perfect medicine. It contains substances that your body does not need. These aggravate the body, which causes the defense system to develop stronger antibodies for anything that would compromise or harm the body. It's a metaphor for our lives. When we're up against our personal challenges and we're getting triggered left and right, you will rise to the occasion and find your solution. I needed to hear that. Thank you for letting me say that.
That's my dog making that noise, by the way, not me.
That's okay. It doesn't interrupt anything. Dogs are family. They're cool.
Yes.
Injecting Orin causes the body to go into a hyperactive healing mode, which forces it to heal and release toxins immediately. Direct injection of Orin in the bloodstream will bypass the stomach, digestion, and elimination systems. This is why it's so quick and so potent. New research reveals that Orin therapy can be beneficial under all of these conditions. It's recommended for clients do not use Orin therapy when using any type of drugs, medication, heavy smoking, tobacco or cannabis, drinking alcohol or coffee. And as I explained a couple chapters ago, if you still have to take those things because you still believe you have to take those things, then you can use the urine therapy on an hour on either side of taking those. Do you understand why? You understand why we say it that way? So the body doesn't go after that, and it continues to do its normal process, and those things can be absorbed just long enough so that the urine comes in and cleans out any effects it might have on your body. Which it's also changing your brain chemistry so your body doesn't rely on it, doesn't need it, and you will stop taking it. Yay. We're going to skip over to the bottom of page 101. And we'll save the last 10 minutes of class for anything you want to talk about. On subject or off subject. I've done this and the students seem to like it. I'll turn off the recording and you can talk about anything you want. Mm-hmm. Ironically, doctors are using oral Orin or urea therapy in non-emergency cases with equally good results. The bottom of page 101. Drinking allows for slower application and absorption, which can decrease any possible detox symptoms. Injections deliver an abrupt, forced introduction of nutritional substances into the body without allowing for the body's gradual adjustment to the substance. This really isn't any need for this sudden force of Orin into the body unless there is an emergency situation that requires it, which I've already gone over some of those conditions. Orin injections work fine if you are comfortable giving these to yourself or others, or you can consult a health expert to administer this for you. Any questions? On the right is George Johnson from Montana. George Johnson gets the credit and the kudos for teaching me goggles, which Daniel showed just a little bit. And the shorter version, without reading what George wrote, is simply fill up the goggles And then as they're full, you bring up to your face and push and create the suction over the eyes, like he's showing there, and keep them in place for as long as you can. Open your eyes as much as you can before you take them off, and then do what you do with the leaky Orin on your face. And you'll be amazed how long you can keep those on you without having to take them off or feel insecure about it. After all, you had your eyes open in your mom's belly.
Mm.
And if you take that a little bit further, we were fish. We were living in water. It's like, did we have gills? How are we able to live and drink our pee and keep our mouth open while we're in water for all those months?
Yes, interesting.
Yeah, supernatural, ain't it?
Mm. Mm.
Your eyes will feel fresh and new and clear. Remove the goggles when you're done and rub any dripping Orin onto the face. Now, George Johnson, bless his heart, he lost his legs earlier last year. He had them amputated because gangrene started seeping in, and the only way to save him was to cut his legs off. He has prosthesis now. He's learning to walk again. But urine therapy was always part of his protocol, and we couldn't understand why he ended up going the route he did. But we don't know what people's destinies are in terms of health and healing, but we always wish for the best. And George is such a big advocate. He's got shirts that are tie-dye shirts that say, "Long live Shivambu." And he was a guy who went to Yellowstone National Park and used chalk. And at the entrance ways of Yellowstone National Park, he put Shivambu is your answer. And he's a big advocate of Shivambu and urine therapy. So I wanted to honor him in the book.
Mm.
All right, tongue cleaning. Tongue cleaners, tongue scrapers, some are plastic. You get them free from your dentist. Some are metal with the little serrated edges on it, and they're horseshoe shaped, and you pull them over the tongue.
Yeah.
Right. So in this protocol, you're simply going to dip whatever you're using, either the tongue cleaner or the scraper, into the Orin, and the whole idea is to take off. Let me just read this one paragraph down here. The protocol supports oral hygiene as it cleans off the coating that's been growing for who knows how long on the tongue. The tongue collects microorganisms, oral debris such as food, saliva, dead skin cells. The tongue surface can store tooth and gum pathogens. Tongue cleaning with Orin restores oral health, which restores blood and cellular health. This protocol removes the layers of contaminants that coats the tongue. So you're simply going to dip the cleaner into the Orin, scrape it along the tongue, and then when you're done, rinse your mouth off with some more Orin, and that's it. Pretty cool. Pretty simple. Do you have one?
Yes, I have somewhere.
All right. It's now in your protocol group.
Yes, okay. I can find it.
All right. The belly button soak. The navel soak, page 106. This is very exciting. The belly button soak. Here we go. Our navel is an amazing thing. All veins are connected to our navel, which makes it the focal point of our body. It just happens to be in your core. How perfect is that? The belly button. The pachati is the bit left over after the umbilicus has been cut. It is behind the navel, which has more than 72,000 veins. Living veins, not dead veins.
Yeah, the umbilical cord probably shouldn't be cut and actually be left there for an hour afterwards. So the 3/4 of the blood is in the placenta or something like that.
Right. And the nutrients are still passing, the oxygen is still passing from the mother into the baby. This is where hospitals did us a disservice. There's equal to double the circumference of the earth. That's how many how long the veins are in our body. It seems in Ayurvedic, the belly button is used as a portal to deliver nutrients and medicines into the body. Now we know all humans have a belly button unless you were born with an umbilical hernia and had it surgically removed. But not every mammal has belly buttons. Kangaroos, platypuses don't have a belly button. Dolphins do. Belly buttons accumulate lots of bugs. 2,400 different species have been found lurking in the navel. And everyone's belly button bugs are a different composition. Navel lint is a gross mixture of fibers, hair, and dead skin cells. If you've ever poked around in there, you'll know. This is now a topic of conversation. Belly button poking. I used to find things in there and go, what is this for my clothes? How does that get in there? You wonder why the belly button is so powerful. It's all about location. The belly button is near the center of your abdomen and around your center of gravity, your third chakra, also known as your core. It sits over your intestines and a major lymphatic nodes and blood vessels. And it's near the vagus nerve, which is responsible for the rest and digestive functions of the body. Now, as a massage therapist, we massage the vagus nerve on people when they come in, starting up here, going all the way down to the intestines. Unlike the rest of the abdomen, there's little or no muscle behind the navel, which makes it the perfect access point to your belly. The rest of the body connects to the belly button by facial trains that cross right near it. It's also the entrance point and the major energy center in your lower abdomen. Navels are very important reflexology points that stimulate the whole body. So how can you harness the power of your belly button? We have known that to lower the temperature for babies, we put a cotton swab with alcohol in the navel. Now we know Orin's healthier, safer, much better. Your navel can detect which veins have dried up, and by putting on Orin, those nerves open them up. Applying Orin in the navel heals the dryness of the eyes, poor vision, the pancreas, heals chapped lips, keeps the face bright, the hair healthier, knee pain, the chills, lethargy, pain in the joints, and dry skin. Pretty impressive. You see your belly button every day, you look in the mirror, but how many people stop to think, well, this is a major point. We should do something with it. Belly button healing. The secret to health is in the belly button. And there's a video there if you ever want to go look at it. I didn't produce that video, but it's well done. It eliminates stubborn pimples, acne, achieves a glowing face, hydrates and moistens dry, chapped lips, keeps your intestines moving while removing harmful bacteria and keeping the good. Orin actually works as a mild detox. And here's a whole list, which I'm not going to read. Let's skip over to page 110. We're at about 4 minutes, then I'm going to open up the lines to everybody. Use it as a diuretic. It's an expectorant that removes mucus from the airways and lungs. It's effective in treating bronchitis, whooping cough, upper respiratory inflammation. And number 14, which was not in the book, it's great for treating allergic reactions. At night before bed, apply 3 drops of Orin in your navel and spread it 1.5 inches around your navel. Or you can soak cotton ball and leave it in place with a washcloth as a method to slowly drip Orin into the bloodstream while sleeping. Try this at the very last paragraph. Try this for tremors, strokes, lethargy, spaciness, equilibrium or dizziness concerns, depression, inflammation, and dry skin. Sounds like you could use it for almost anything.
Mm.
Oh, there's his foot soap. All right, I'm going to bookmark this spot right here. Daniel was entertaining us at the retreat. He has his unique Daniel approach to life, and him and this gal, Happy, they really bonded, they really connected. And we had just finished doing the labyrinth. You know what a labyrinth is?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So having their own unique perspective on life, instead of taking the time to go back and forth and do the whole, the whole pattern of they ran through it, dancing and laughing. They did it in like a minute, and it takes most people 40 minutes. They were just going, let's speed labyrinth.
We were doing yoga first, and you guys were about to leave, so that's why.
Yeah, well, I still have videos of it. It was a classic.
That's cool. Yeah.
So any last questions about what we learned today or what we learned yesterday? Now would be the time to bring it up. Nothing? Nothing?
I had a comment about what you're saying before. You don't have to. A lot of the time, you can simply infuse cayenne pepper with urine, and that can also act and stopping a heart attack as well.
And how are you using the cayenne pepper? Are you mixing with the urine or just putting it in your body?
They're using it on top or under the tongue,
Right.
under their tongue.
Right. It works like a charm. And Dr. John Christopher was a big advocate of cayenne. Him and Dr. Schultz. What's his name? Richard Schultz, who's known as the poop doctor. And I got in the habit of carrying cayenne with me everywhere. I've got it in the car, I've got it in the house, I got it in the backpack, because you never know when you need to get that in your blood or just to wake up. All right, guys, I'm going to take off the recording. And this ends class number 2 in urine therapy training course number 12. And we will proceed with the class tomorrow.